All right, I think we're live. So, welcome to Peter Pan Millennials discuss Disney films or Disney movies. I am joined by my friends Mike and Sharad. Welcome, guys.
Bonjour.
Hello.
So this is part of my People Discuss Media Topics podcast, live stream podcast. And I think this is like the fourth one I think the fourth one I've done of these. And yeah, we just decided to have a break from my other regular live stream, Real Talk with the Vulnerable Angel and Friends. If you're wondering what this is about, you can always go and watch the old ones of that if you're missing that show. That's why I'm not dressed like an angel tonight. I'm dressed in one of my many Disney t-shirts that I own. It was very hard for me to.
Very nice.
Why didn't I wear mine? I didn't even think about it.
Why didn't you? You're not
That's
as
the thing
prepared
about
as
being
me.
sick.
But yeah, there you go.
I have a really bad cold today, you guys. I felt awful.
Well, you sound fantastic.
We appreciate you still joining us despite that, Mike. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, obviously, yeah. So the Peter Pan millennial name comes from the fact that, there's the Peter Pan complex of never growing up, and certain subset of millennials do not grow up, and we are some of them.
As I said before, who are you calling a millennial?
How are you not a millennial, Mike?
I am not a millennial.
Are you the same age as me?
I was born in 1982.
That's a millennial.
Oh, that's a millennial, sir.
I beg to differ.
Since when?
So from 1979 to 1985.
You're gonna do the.
For those of us who were
Gen
born
Y.
in those years, it is this really weird, strange, mixed bag where some people in that age gap or age group feel like they identify more with Gen X, which is what I do, but some of those people identify a little bit more with millennials, which I do not. Now, growing up in the 90s, because Pepsi had such an incredibly powerful and influential marketing campaign, they created their own thing called the Pepsi generation, saying, you, young kids in the early 90s who are drinking Pepsi, you are the Pepsi generation. And because I was so dumb, I didn't realize it was a marketing campaign and a marketing campaign only, I thought that I was the Pepsi generation. So even though I am not a Pepsi drinker, I will forever and for always identify as Gen Pepsi.
All right. Well, that can be how you identify yourself, but the general public will put you in the millennial camp. I'm afraid. I am sorry. I mean, I'm only a year younger than you, Mike, and so I'm in that same like micro generation. When we were growing up, I thought it was Gen Y. That's what it was referred to before the term millennial came along.
Right.
And Sharad, I think you're also like 85?
86.
86? Yeah. Okay, so you're just not quite in that range. Oh, well. You're the same age as my brother then. My brother was 86.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, shall we get started? Let's chat about our we're going to start with our top 10 animated Disney movies.
And also, I feel like we should put a stipulation on this to any of our viewers. We're only including like bona fide Disney Studios
yes
films. We're not like
not including anything that Disney has since bought and put into its catalog.
Like Marvel. Well, I mean, like even though like there's a ton of Marvel films that have
Mm.
been produced by Disney, we're not including those. We're not including Star Wars. It has to be like
Mm.
actual like Disney studio, like in the spirit of the question. When
Yes.
someone says,
So
"Hey,
Exactly.
I think the best way to put it is it can't be an acquisition. It should be an original IP.
Right. Which
Yeah.
is why we have separated from animated Disney movies, Disney Pixar films as a category. Because they are not entirely the same, but people do still lump them together. So
Mhm.
who wants to start for their top 10?
I can go.
Sharon?
are we
Okay.
going to go the whole way through, or are we going to go all of our 10s, then all of our 9s, and all of our 6s?"
Oh no, I couldn't order mine, like, because
Yeah.
the order kind of
Oh.
like fluctuates, like depending on like my mood and stuff. So I could only pick like these are all in my top 10, but I can't
Yeah.
order them.
I think it's very hard as well because like when it comes to Disney per se, I think we're all kind of stuck in a nostalgic bubble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of them do have very intrinsic, singular kind of memories, don't they? So for or whatever was going on in our lives at the time. So
Yeah.
for me, it's impossible. I can probably give you a top 3, but a top 10,
in a particular order.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, mine fluctuates in terms of like what's my favorite in this moment. Well, sometimes it's this one, sometimes it's this one, sometimes it's this one, and like even my top 10, I'm like, occasionally I might add something else to my top 10 rather than one of these other
Yeah.
ones. So, and then Disney has produced so many great films since the 90s when I grew up with the Disney films. So it's like I have to include some of those more recent ones as well.
Mm-hmm. So should we just do like a straight top 10 each?
Yeah.
All right,
I
cool.
think we'll do that.
All right, I will go with mine. So in no particular order, we have Sword in the Stone, The Black Cauldron, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Robin Hood, The Little Mermaid, The Rescuers, Hercules, Lady and the Tramp, and The Jungle Book.
So many
There
good
you go.
ones in there.
Classic.
I know what era you grew up in.
Yeah.
No more recent ones. Sharad, have you like been to see a lot of like any or many of the more recent animated films from Disney?
Yes and no. Like I said, like a lot of them now are with in tandem with other studios. So, for example, I wasn't expecting to. I completely forgot that there was some in tandem with it. But to be fair, like those that I've seen have mostly been on maybe the TV shows rather than the films itself.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
and those have mostly been Star Wars or the Marvel spin-offs.
So the ones that aren't counted with
There you go.
what we're discussing.
There you go. What about yourself? What about your top 10?
Before I move on, I want to dissect your top 10 for a moment.
Please.
Can you give us the rundown again from like top to bottom?
Yeah.
And then let's kind of break each one down just a little bit.
Right. Okay. Like I said, this is in no particular order. I found it impossible to do so. Okay. So we have Sword in the Stone.
Okay.
The Black Cauldron.
Mm-hmm.
Beauty and the Beast. Aladdin. Robin Hood. The Little Mermaid. The Rescuers. Hercules. Lady and the Tramp. And The Jungle Book.
You know, I saw The Rescuers Down Under before I saw The Rescuers. And it was one of the first films that I remember seeing in the movie theaters.
Yeah, well, that must have been so fun.
So good, especially growing up in Australia and watching that like Australian setting in a Disney film. Not that like I mean, given the age that I was at the time, I don't think I really fully comprehended how like different that opportunity was at the time. But yeah, still super cool.
Because if you remember stuff like The Rescuers and even The Black Cauldron, they deal with such I wouldn't say adult, but some serious dramatical themes. Nowadays, you like I can't even imagine animated Disney even going near that.
I
So
mean,
there you
Black Cauldron is. I mean, everyone says it. Oh, such a dark movie. Dark Knight. Oh, such a dark movie.
go.
But like, it really is in terms of subject matter,
Hmm.
because it doesn't just deal with like death and magic and people taking advantage of each other. Like that movie really goes in depth of some pretty gnarly stuff.
It's
Like
scary, bro.
like there because I only saw it for the first time like a year ago.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I've only seen it once, but it was many years ago.
What was enough?
Yeah, there's so much media to consume in the world. There's no way that you can like really adequately watch all of it, especially on somebody else's timetable. So
Hmm.
Black Cauldron was just one of those. I think it was because it was so dark and so scary. My parents just wouldn't let us watch it when we were little, and I just grew up and just kind of forgot about it.
Oh dear.
I think for my childhood, it just because I was an adult when I watched it too. I think it just wasn't as like widely popular as many of the other ones in that era. So that's why it wasn't like, you know.
There's no music in it. Like there's no musical numbers.
Yeah.
If there are, please correct me if I'm wrong in this, but I don't recall there being like
No,
any
I don't
musical
think so.
numbers. So like
No.
there's really nothing like super kitschy or memorable for children to latch onto, except for like being scared out of their wits and then wanting to go back and do it all over again.
Well, that's the thing. Like a lot of kids, either they attach themselves to Taran, the main character, or to Kurgi, the sidekick. And spoiler alert. Okay, it's been a few years, but yeah. So at the end, when Kurgi kind of sacrifices himself by jumping into the cauldron, I remember the first time ever watching that, I lost my mind. I was like, how
Yeah.
could this happen?
Yeah.
And then obviously when he came back and everything, that was fantastic. But even before then, with when you actually see the bad guys and how terrifying they were, like, whoa, it's like scary stuff.
Yeah. You also had Sword in the Stone in that
did.
list,
Mhm.
which oh man, the whole sequence where they get turned into squirrels
Yeah.
Yes.
just is so delightful.
Hmm.
But then like the whole battle with Mad Madam Mim, like
Yep.
that is one of the greatest animated or non-animated fight sequences
Hmm.
I have ever seen, and I just love it so much.
I liked how when they were transformed into the different creatures there, they did fish as well. How well that they captured still like
Emotion.
what the characters look like. They still embodied the physical characteristics of those characters in the different animals.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good. I miss it. I mean, like yeah, it's just it's some. I mean, to be fair, like I love Arthurian myth and legend as well, so that also hit home for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember like I think I saw. I think for some reason I remember seeing Excalibur roughly around the same time. So I was definitely in my King Arthur kind of mix. And that film's just perfect from beginning to end.
One of the other things that strikes me about Sword in the Stone is there is like going back to the wizard battle with Mad Madam Mim, when Mim becomes the pink dragon,
Yes.
and she's so much bigger than Merlin's dragon. And she's just like, I'm like, you can't beat me. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to be like? Are you going to become an even bigger dragon? Because I can become an even bigger dragon than that, right?
And then he turns himself into a mouse, right?
Oh,
Smart
yeah,
boy.
that's what it was. But the thing that like got me was that Merlin was so clever to
Mm.
become bacteria.
Oh,
and make
that's right.
sick.
Yeah.
And that's how he defeated her.
Mhm.
And I was like, how do you? Because you can keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but then there's like there are very smart and clever ways to defeat your opponent if you will allow your hubris to get out of the way.
Yeah.
That
That's
was
really smart. Yeah.
What else did you have in the list?
I also had Sword in the Stone, Black Cauldron, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Robin Hood, The Little Mermaid, The Rescuers, Hercules, Lady and the Tramp, and Jungle Book.
I think that's one of my absolute favorite depictions of Robin Hood is the Disney animated version.
Oh, yeah.
Like, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I learned how to whistle from that film actually, and
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, between Robin Hood and Jason Bateman's character from Zootopia, are there two finer foxes on the planet?
None.
I don't think so.
None.
There you go. Yeah.
What about you guys?
For top 10, okay, my top 10 are also in no particular order. We have a Goofy movie.
Oh.
Did you not see my promo on Instagram where I used a song from a Goofy movie?
Oh, yeah. Oh, dang.
One of the absolute best Disney soundtracks as well.
Yeah.
Mulan, Frozen, Tarzan.
Mm-hmm.
I almost put Tarzan on my list. Almost.
So good. Moana, Encanto, The Lion King 2. I like it better. I like it better than the first one. Tangled, Aladdin, and Treasure Planet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Treasure Planet.
I remember Treasure Planet got like this huge buzz straight off because they use this brand new visual technology to present the story. And I remember like a lot of kids hated it, but a lot of adults loved it.
It was 2D meets 3D.
Yeah.
Which was bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love Treasure Planet, but I respect you for your choices.
That's fair. Like, it was the last one I put on the list, but there's like, it was really a toss-up for me because like there's also The Little Mermaid was a big one for me in my childhood. Same with Beauty and the Beast and The Emperor's New Groove. So it's like,
oh yeah,
it's hard.
Emperor's New Groove was solid.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite among that list? Like a favorite?
Of all of the films that I listed? Well, I would usually, if somebody asked me, I would usually probably say either a Goofy movie or Mulan for like a top Disney movie, but it kind of, you know, it might alternate between them depending on like my mood at the time.
You know, Goofy movie would have been a very different film had they used the song "Be a Man."
Like, you can imagine the background just going like suddenly having Goofy
yeah. Awesome. I really liked how they handled the "Be a Man" song in
I'll make a man out of you.
Oh, make a man out of you.
So
yeah, I like how they did that, incorporated it into the live action film. I thought that was really cool.
It's been a while since I've seen the live action version, and I've only seen it once versus Mulan, which I've seen countless times. The animated version I've seen countless times.
Can you give a rundown of your top 10 again?
My top 10 again? Sure. So a Goofy movie, Mulan, Frozen, Tarzan, Moana, Encanto, The Lion King 2, Tangled, Aladdin, and Treasure Planet.
Out of those ones, which one do you think had the best soundtrack?
Look, I will tell you which ones I have on CD.
Oh, nice.
I have A Goofy Movie,
Nice.
Mulan, Frozen, Tarzan, Moana, The Lion King 2, and Aladdin. I have all of those soundtracks.
Yeah, so there you go.
So like it's hard. But I
Which one is the best soundtrack?
would say probably like again, A Goofy Movie and Mulan probably, just because yeah, there are so many like really iconic songs in those films that make up, like they're a part of what make those two like my top two.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Oh.
Tell us a little more about Lion King 2, because
Why that?
I have never seen any of the sequels. I've never
Ah.
seen Lion King 2.5. I've never seen the Timon and Pumbaa movie. I haven't seen any of them.
No, that's fair. So the soundtrack is a big part of why I love that one as well. It's got a great soundtrack. And I know like sequels are like, why would you pick a sequel over the original? So Lion King 2 is set, you know, obviously after Lion King 1, but it's set when Simba is a father and he's raising a daughter, and there's like a different faction of lions that like followed Scar. Like Scar's obviously dead, but they followed like Scar's kind of way, and they have like a young lion cub called Kovu that they try to get to infiltrate the Simba's pride, and but this cub ends up falling in love with Simba's daughter, and it's a cute little romance. Like I think that's what it is, because it's more romance based than the original. And
Yeah,
clearly,
there's very little, if any,
yeah.
romance.
Simba and Nala have a little bit of thing, but it's really not anywhere near as much as, yeah. So that's a big part of it, and so like the soundtrack is, yeah, it's got some really great songs for that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's time for my top 10.
Yes.
Let's hear it.
There's going to be a lot in here that has already been said, but also a few surprises.
Look, Sharad and I only had one overlap, I think, right? We both had Aladdin, and that's it.
Yeah. So there you go.
Well, I actually have ranked mine
there you go.
the top 10 order. So I'm going to start with number 10, being that you just mentioned it, Aladdin.
Nice.
Number 9, Big Hero 6.
Ooh.
Is that Disney and not Pixar?
That is Disney.
Nice.
I love Big Hero 6. I still haven't watched the Baymax television show.
Oh, I did.
I heard it was good, but haven't done it. Number 8, Encanto.
Nice.
Let me just pause there for a second. One of the reasons, I mean, it's such a good movie. One of the comic book characters that I had created many years ago, I wanted to create a story about this kid who grew up in New York, who didn't have any superpowers, and he was kind of on a journey to figure out what made him special. Like everyone around him has superpowers. All of his idols, all of his influences, they all have superpowers, but he doesn't, and he wants them so badly. So what makes him special? And then Encanto came out, and I was like, oh,
same story.
same thing.
Yeah.
And they probably did it way better than I ever would have. Not probably, 100,000 times.
Because they actually made it and you didn't.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Way to go, Lynn.
To be fair, if you had the same resources, we'll never know.
It's true.
Fair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, Zootopia.
Nice.
I fell in love with Officer Hawks. I thought she was the cat's meow. Number 6, Tangled.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, Moana.
Nice.
Number 4, Alice in Wonderland.
Ooh.
Alice in Wonderland, my dad tells me it was the movie that I used to watch over and over and over again when I was really little. I have no memory of this, but apparently that was the one that I watched the most when I was really little.
Honestly, I think the same probably was true for me. I loved how weird that movie was
Mm.
and bonkers, and it's so bizarre. It's so strange, but I love it. I mean, it's not just the movie; it's the book. But
The concept, yeah.
It's very iconic, like especially the Cheshire Cat stuff. Like anytime I see the moon, like when it's not a full moon, obviously, it's shaped like the Cheshire Cat's smile. I was like, "There's the Cheshire Cat right in the sky right now."
Right there, right there.
Yeah.
And that creepy singing of "And the bell cats come out to play." So it's so ethereal. It's just spooky. It's just
I found it quite sexy, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, well, somebody is into cats.
Hey, man. Judgment free zone.
We're talking about Disney movies, so I kind of feel like this is a PG rated crowd. Otherwise, I would have said something very different.
Fair.
Number 3, Beauty and the Beast.
Nice.
It's so beautifully animated. It's such a great story. I see myself in so many different characters. And the music is so good. It was Beauty and the Beast was the one that like really hit home that Disney was like back. You know, because Little Mermaid was incredible, but Beauty and the Beast knocked it out of the park.
Well, I think that was because they created some more new animation stuff for it as well, with their like their settings and stuff, right?
They did, yeah. So beautiful. Number 2, Wreck-It Ralph.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
Wreck It.
You know, I actually prefer the sequel, I think.
Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Yeah.
That was fun. I didn't think it was anything earth-shattering, but the first movie, I thought it was such a strong story of here's this guy who just wants to be accepted. And because like how many of us can connect to this? He wants to be accepted, so he goes off and does the wrong thing for the right reason. Or maybe even the wrong thing for the wrong reason. He wants people to like him. He wants to be accepted. And maybe he does the wrong thing for the right reason. And it gets him in so much trouble. And it's not so much his fault as it is everyone else around him. The people in the video game should have accepted him. They should have known that without him, the game is nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
You can't have that game without Ralph. And I don't know, it connected with, and the whole like smashing of shoot, what's her name? Vanellope von Schweet. Her car. The first time I remember watching it, I was just crying in the theater in the movie as a grown man, whatever that means. I was bawling my eyes out of like in order to save his friend, again, he's doing the right thing for the right reason, but he was tricked. He was tricked. He didn't know that he was doing the wrong thing. But to him, he was doing the right thing for the right reason. He was saving her from herself, based on the information that he had. And it was just so tragic. And I love that movie so much.
There's one line in that film that I'll never forget. It's when I think Ralph says, "Why do I have to be the bad guy?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Just that one line alone, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
What's the phrase that they use towards the beginning of the movie when he's in group therapy? I may be bad, and that's good. And the good thing about being bad is that I feel like
something similar to that.
About it. Yeah, but like you have to accept that you play a vital role.
Mm.
Even if you don't like that role, you have to accept that that's what it is. And my number one of all time Disney animated films, The Lion King.
Yeah,
It's
of
just
course.
so good.
Classic.
Yeah.
Well,
Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite out of Timon and Pumbaa?
Oh, Nathan Lane and whoever played Pumbaa. I mean, Seth Rogen and was it John Mulaney? They did a fine job. They did a fine job. The not so live action remake was great, but it didn't have the magical quality to it.
Yeah.
I
So
still haven't seen it yet. So for The Lion King, do you prefer the original version, or do you prefer the version where they added the song / scene, The Morning Report?
The Morning Report is fine. I honestly take it or leave. It's the same way that I feel about Muppets Christmas Carol, where there's the theatrical cut, but then there was the DVD version that includes the song uh, "When Love Is Found." When love is found. Uh, da 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 da. That whole thing. And it's to illustrate when the love of Scrooge's life left him, like he really valued money over people, over relationships. And I understand why they cut it, and I understand why they put it back in. I don't know, take it or leave it. It's meh. Honestly, I think the entire film without the Morning Report.
Yeah, I really think that song is completely unnecessary to the film. I don't understand why they added it.
Fine.
Yeah. My dad is watching and he left a comment. And he says that there are 4 Disney films that have impacted him growing up. They are Song of the South, Fantasia, Bambi, and Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland.
Each had deeper influences on me. That's probably why I watched Alice in Wonderland so much when I was growing up, because it was one of my dad's favorites as well. I'll get to Song of the South later because it's not strictly animated. It's combined animated live action. Yeah.
Well, it's not even a hybrid. It's some parts of it are live action, and then other parts of it are
animated.
I mean, I guess there was that like bluebird sitting on his shoulder, that whole thing. But
yeah, that's the only part.
Fantasia. Between Fantasia and Fantasia 2000, those are my honorable mentions, and I adore both of those films so much. I love them.
For me, Bambi has one of my most replayed scenes of any Disney film, and that is the Twitter-pated scene.
Oh, yeah.
Because I just remember, like, I think it was during my early high school years, I used to replay that scene over and over again with a couple of my friends of mine, and I had all of the dialogue down pat. I could recite it word for word as I was playing it. That's how much I loved that scene.
Of course you did.
Yeah. And then my dad also says that the best romance was Lady and the Tramp, the spaghetti scene. Classic. But obviously I have claimed that The Lion King 2 is the better romance since it's in my top 10.
How dare you? How dare you?
Of course you did.
In terms of animal romance. Okay. I don't know. Aristocats has got some pretty good romance stuff too.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen Aristocats?
God, dude, you need
oh
to
my
see
goodness.
It. You need to see it.
That's on your to watch list next then, Mike. You watch that one.
You know, one of my there's a woman in my cosplay group who lives in San Diego, and that is her, I don't know if it's her favorite movie of all. It might actually be her favorite movie of all time. The Aristocats. And every single year I go out to San Diego for Comic-Con. we always talk about, all right, this is going to be the year that we sit down and watch, that we get Mike to watch the Aristocats, and it just never happens. I want to watch it, but I just haven't. So
get around to it at some point. All right, we ready for our top 5/10 Disney Pixar films?
Pixar.
Yes. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first this time.
Yeah.
I have a top 5
Mhm.
because it's a shorter list of there's not as many Pixar films as others. So I put Toy Story 3.
Mhm.
I think that's the best Toy Story film. Up,
Yes.
Mhm.
Onward,
Mhm.
Turning Red,
Mhm.
and Elemental.
Nice.
Have you ranked those, or they're in any order?
No, I don't have a particular order for those either. But I don't know. I think Elemental might be my favorite now.
Okay.
Yeah, I was blown away by that and like cried so much watching that film. So yeah.
Onward was one of those films that I didn't toy too much with the idea of putting it on my, because I made a top 10 list. I thought about putting it in the top 10, but it connected with me. But I think I wanted it to be something that it wasn't. I think I wanted them to put both feet in the fantastical realm, as opposed to 1 foot fantastical, 1 foot modern.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I would have enjoyed it more if they just leaned full on into the fantasy element. But that's me.
I don't think I had any expectations for it. I went with my daughter, I believe, and it was like the last film that I saw just before everything shut down during COVID.
Wow.
So yeah, like that's why it's like a big thing for me, because it's like the last thing before I couldn't go to the movies anymore for a while.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know, it just resonated a lot with me. I've still only seen it that one time in the theater. Same with Turning Red. I've only seen it the one time. But I just remember being really moved by those films.
Onward came out in what, 2019?
2020.
2020.
Because it was just before everything shut down.
So that movie would have come out about a little over a year and a half after my dad died. It really resonated with me. And it's for that reason that I was like, oh man, I want my dad back. If only I could have that magical wand, or to the staff, I guess, to bring my dad's lower half back. I guess that would be cool. But
yeah, I think it's funny that they got Spider-Man and Star-Lord to play the brothers. Yeah, that was a nice touch.
Which begs the question: do you think that was gimmicky? I don't know.
No,
I honestly don't even remember that they were the voice actors. Like, that's not like what drew me to it. It was really the story that drew. And that's the really big thing about what draws me to Disney animated films. Like, even if they have notable voice actors in the cast, that's more of a side quality rather than the feature, right?
Yeah.
True.
Can you give us a rundown of those 5 one more time?
Sure. So I said Toy Story 3, Up, Onward, Turning Red, and Elemental.
Nice. Can we all agree that the first 5 minutes of Up it's like universally destroyed people?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And one thing that I really appreciate about that is, I'm sure you two have probably experienced this as well. A lot of writers will say, "Oh, but we need time to tell a story." That 5 minutes told a better story than what most people can do in a couple of hours.
I think that's one of the huge strengths that is Pixar. At least like OG Pixar. I mean, say what you will about the really creepy guy in the office who would go around rubbing women's shoulders, which is completely unacceptable. I'm referring, of course, to John Lasseter.
Right. This is news. I've not read about any of this stuff, so it's news to
Oh,
me. Okay.
oh yeah. There's a reason he's been
Wow.
removed from Pixar. Say what you will about John Lasseter, but under his reign, some of, I dare say, top tier, the best Pixar stories came out um, during his tenure.
Mm.
Since his departure, I think there have been some excellent films made, but some of them have eclipsed. But I do think that Pixar as a whole has suffered maybe just a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit from his departure.
I think it's a touch and go. There are definitely some from like more recent ones that I am not as thrilled about. But obviously there are a number of recent ones that are on my list. So yeah.
It's fair. I got some recent ones.
Do you want to go next, Mike?
Might as well.
Good segue.
My number, like I said, I did a top 10. My top 10 spot. This is a fairly new-ish entry for me, at least, because when this film came out, I hated it. I wanted nothing to do with it.
Interesting.
And it wasn't until many years went by that I actually I let the anger go and I sat down to watch it, and I was like, "Oh, this is actually kind of a cool movie. I really like it." Cars.
Life is a highway.
See, I have had this like thing for Owen Wilson for like since Shanghai Noon, I think, and so the fact that he was the voice of Lightning McQueen was like a big draw for me. But still not in my top 5. So.
No, honestly, I like all of the Cars films, including Cars 2, which is universally panned by everyone. But it's basically, if you can accept the fact that like it's just James Bond, it's turned into a James Bond movie, but with cars. Let go of the whole like Route 66 culture and just do something completely different. I respect that.
Yeah, for sure.
Number 9, Ratatouille.
Nice.
I was
also very, very good. Yeah.
It was so good. I was in culinary school when that movie came out.
Oh, no way.
Oh, great timing.
Another special, yeah.
Number 8. Also,
Go on.
I was going to say, and of course, the classic scene with the hair like rat controlling him was like repurposed and used in Everything Everywhere All at Once, which was just
it so was. Yes, it was. Because he's Raccacoonie.
Yeah.
There's a bit when towards the end, spoiler alert, and when the critic tastes the food, it reminds him of his childhood, and you see that flashback, and he's a child again. And I remember watching that, and I was like, "Wow, that's amazing." You see the stoic kind of guy, and you just see him melt into this small boy again, and that hit me so much because, obviously, as you two know, I lost my mother not that long ago, and whenever I'm out and about and I can smell like some food that tastes even like a small percentage of what her cooking smelled like, I just instantly turn back into a child again. So I mean, that really, really hit me.
No, I mean, that sort of thing like really captures like how those moments of nostalgia can really, take you back and hit you really hard, right?
Number 8, Elemental.
Nice.
For same reasons. It's just, I think one of the interesting things about the world that we're now living in, and we may start to get out of this in the not too distant future, I hope we don't, but we're starting to tell stories that matter on such deep, profound levels. And like you have this family who's made of fire, and they have such venom towards the family made of water because water can hurt. They perceive it as though water hurts us. Water can seriously hurt us. And yeah, I don't know. I just thought that like a classic Romeo and Juliet kind of a story.
Mhm.
I guess for me, like it was very much about intercultural romance.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where the story stemmed from, just from the writer perspective, anyway. And so, having been in that like intercultural romance kind of situation, like it really hit me hard, like going through all of that and seeing those
Yeah.
kind of struggles with stuff.
Same. Number 7, Wall-E.
Nice.
I think for Wall-E About Me, I had no interest in this movie when it came out. Remind me, there was just what 2004,
Yeah, it was definitely mid 2000s. Yeah.
Wasn't it late? It was
2007.
it was later. Yeah, I think it was
Okay.
around there. Yeah.
I had no interest in Wall-E whatsoever. I was like, oh my gosh, they're like, okay, so they had a big hit with Toy Story, they had a big hit with Bugs Life, Monsters Inc. All right, like guys, you're starting to run out of ideas. You're doing another robot movie? Come on. And oh my
Yeah.
goodness. They in my improv classes, one of the big things that I harp on so much is show don't tell.
Mm.
Like show us how you care. What is your big emotional reaction? In improv, there's this thing of like 3-line scenes. Dominica, I know you know what I'm talking about.
I know.
The whole idea in 3-line scenes is that you have 2 actors or 2 improvisers, person A and person B. So person A initiates the scene, and they make a statement about anything of, they make an opinion about something, right? Person B responds by filling in vital information. Who are we to each other? Like, what's our relationship?
Mhm.
Where are we right now? Because, context is everything. And the who, the what, and the where. The what. What are we doing? What activity are we engaged in right now? And then once that information has been established, then person A responds with the 3rd line of this now scene with a big, over the top, dramatic, emotional reaction. And it's the emotions that make or break a scene.
Mhm.
You can be as clever as you want, but if you can't be clever, you have to be emotional, because that's what we're going to resonate with. And that's what Wall-E was. It was an emotional movie.
I think
There
the
were
thing
no
that's
words.
I think the thing that struck me the most about Wall-E was the commentary on the social and political landscape of the entire world.
But that's the thing. They hooked you in with this incredible story about just this boy and this girl
Mhm.
who are kind of
Yeah.
like, will they, won't they? And then the camera kind of pans out a little bit, and you realize, oh, like this is a deeper subject matter than we took it at face value.
Mhm.
And they did it all with minimal dialogue, like minimal dialogue. I was so impressed with that.
Yeah.
Number 6,
6.
Toy Story 4.
Really?
I loved Toy Story 4. I love the movie's been out for a few years, so I don't mind spoiling the ending. Woody goes off on his own journey. He's like, you know what? It's time
Yeah.
for me to break away from everyone else, and I've lived the life that was good for me, and I lived the life that I wanted, but I want something else now. I want the girl who got away. I want to do what's best for me, not necessarily what's best for the group. And sometimes that's okay. Plus also Johnny Mnemonic, what's his name? Keanu Reeves. Why did I go to Johnny Mnemonic?
I don't know. That's not like the most iconic role for him.
I know. But yeah, Johnny Mnemonic as the race car daredevil. Ugh, I loved it. So good. Number 5, Inside Out 2. As you will find out as the list goes on, how much I love the Inside Out movies. And yeah, that was so good. Number 4, Toy Story 3, as aforementioned, the best of the Toy Stories.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, The Incredibles.
Nice.
I remember walking out of that movie theater and asking my parents if we could turn around and go right back in, and they were like, hard pass.
Wow.
I love that movie so much. Number 2, Turning Red. I just connected that character so much.
Yeah.
And number 1, Inside Out.
Nice.
That I think that is the best Pixar movie. Personally, I love it. Yeah, it's delightful.
Nice list. Nice list.
Very good.
Sure. Your list, Sharad.
Oh God. Okay. So yeah. In no particular order. Toy Story. The Incredibles.
Yes.
Wall-E.
Yes.
Up. And as we mentioned, Up, the first 5 minutes got me. The last one on this list, the last 5 minutes really got me, and that would be
wait. Before you say, oh, you already said it.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Coco. Because for those that haven't seen it, again, it's been out for a while.
Sorry, spoilers.
Basically, the grandmother is going through dementia, right? And the boy gets her to kind of sparkle up again by playing her father's guitar, this song, and in doing so, it not only brings the father back to memory, so it makes sure that he lives on forever. But you can see like the magic go back into Coco's eyes, and she's there again. She's Coco again, and she starts talking. She's like, "Oh, my papa used to do this," and it really hit me. I remember I started crying because my father's oldest brother, he has dementia, and he and I were like super close when we were kids, and I would do anything to get those magic behind the eyes back again. And every time I see him about 2 or 3 times a week. He's smiling, he's there, but but that's it, he's there. But yeah, it just so I remember every time I see the ending, I'm just like, oh. So yeah,
I need to watch it again. I remember I saw it on a date in theaters, and the woman that I saw it with, she was just bawling her eyes out, and she was just like, "This is the best movie I've ever seen." And I was
you were like, "Ma."
I know, right? Yeah, give me that money. No, it was good. It didn't strike me the same way that it struck other people, but
I think it was one that blew me away in the theaters, but I've certainly not gone to rewatch it, so it has not stayed with me as much as like some of the more recent ones that I had on my list. But I do have some figurines of the characters from the film. All right. Okay, my dad's left another comment for us here. I'll pull that up before we go to the next question. So my dad just said, you're mentioning Cars. Mike brings up memories of the Herbie movies.
Herbie, the Love Bug.
I'm curious if there are any Herbie the Love Bug movies. That's a great segue into our next list of top 5/10 live action Disney films. Mike, you can go first. Since you have not gone first for the top lists yet, and also you may want to leave soon since
we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So number 10. First of all, going back to Pixar, there was an honorable mention that I wanted to shout out.
Oh yeah.
It was Soul.
I haven't seen that.
I struggled with putting that on the list, and it ultimately didn't quite make the cut. But
that's straight to Disney Plus, that one as well, right?
Unfortunately, it was. That was a COVID release. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Top 10 Disney live action films. I starting at number 10, and again these are in order. I am not a very big fan of this movie, which makes
But it's still on your list.
That's what
it's
you're
on the
totally
list.
yeah.
I'm
And
curious.
it's on the list because I watch it every year, hoping that it's going to wow me, and it never does. Year after year, that is The Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't I want to like this movie. I didn't love the remake, and I
The
really
one with what was it? Who was in the other one? Was
Lakeith
it?
Stanfield and Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito's in the remake?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which was that? The 2023 one?
Yes. 23 or 24. Yeah.
I don't remember. I'm looking it up now.
It was fine. They leaned into the darker stuff a little bit more, but also like it wasn't a fun movie. I don't know. But the Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy from 2002, I really wanted to love it. I really did, because I thought it was going to be such a cool idea, and it is a cool idea. But I on the list. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to say I still haven't seen that one. I have seen the more recent one, and I wanted to check before I said it, but obviously the reason that I saw the remake one was because Owen Wilson was in it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He is in that. Yeah. It's on the list because there's this sequence. While again, I don't love the movie. It in a lot of ways kind of upsets me and angers me, but I still watch it every year. There's this sequence where that takes place outside in the graveyard, and if you haven't seen it, that's all the more I'm going to say. It is so cool. It's so cool. I love that sequence. And it has some really cool themes in it. It missed the mark so hard. But it still kind of hurts my heart to put it on this list. But if I'm truly being honest, I really like that graveyard sequence, and I watch it every year, hoping that it'll be something that it's not.
So sometimes a scene on its own can make a movie hit your list.
Yeah.
You're like the abused spouse who keeps going back, hoping that the partner has changed. You're like this, they after they finally matured, they're like, they'll really change. Nope.
But sometimes that actually your tastes do change over time, and you can like appreciate something more after time has passed. I know, like, for example, this isn't a Disney thing, but for example, the first time I saw the Royal Tenenbaums, I thought, what is this? Like, but then I was friends with somebody who was also like a big movie nerd, and he really loved it. So I'm like, oh, I guess I'll give it a second chance. I watched it again, and then the second time around, I'm like, oh, this is fucking amazing. Like,
Yeah,
why did I,
You have to watch with the right audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so that's number 10. Number 9, Return to Oz. It's a terrible horror film for a lot of people, my wife included, and she will never watch that movie. Say what?
Judgment-free zone. You do you.
I love it.
Look, honestly, that film is on my list too. So
it's so weird and
It's
just
great.
bizarre. I just love it. Oh, I love it so much. Number 8, Freaky Friday
Nice.
with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Mhm.
I think I still haven't seen that one.
That's a good one.
Fun. It's just classic Disney fun.
Fun is the key word, I think.
Yeah.
Very much so a key word.
Yeah.
Mm.
Number 7 might turn some heads. Mary Poppins Returns.
I still haven't. I've been meaning to watch that film, and I still haven't.
Again, it was critically panned by everyone. I loved it. I loved the magic. I thought Emily Blunt did an incredible job as Mary Poppins. There's something about the music. I kind of liked it better than the original.
Really? Oh, wow.
I'd have to go back and rewatch it just to see if I maintain that opinion, but I had such a blast.
Watch them back to back so you can have a proper
Yeah.
comparison.
Yeah,
There you
I should. Number 6, National Treasure.
Nice.
I was
Nice.
living
I
in
still haven't seen that one either.
It's a fun
good.
movie.
So
The
good.
second one's fine.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the TV show yet, but the first one is such a fun movie.
It's lightning in a bottle, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 5, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yes. Yes.
Boy, did that just. Oh,
Mm.
Yeah.
they don't make them like they used to.
No.
Number 4, Tron Legacy.
No.
Came out in 2011.
Yep.
I liked the idea of Tron, but it wasn't until Tron Legacy came out that I was like, "Oh, I love this movie." And again, critically panned by everyone. People universally hated this movie. But I love the score. I love the story. I love the look of it. It looks so good. I don't know. I just love that movie.
I'd never watched Tron in my youth, and I think I watched Tron Legacy first before I watched the original Tron.
Here's the thing: if you didn't grow up with the original Tron, which came out in 1982, I think.
I think so.
Something like that, yeah.
If you didn't grow up with that original film, it does not hold up. I'm sorry. And I know that I'm making enemies right now by saying this publicly on the internet, but that
I'll
movie
take
doesn't
that,
hold
Mike.
up.
Don't worry, I have a movie on my list that will also. I have some things to say about that aspect of it too.
Number 3, The Muppets.
Which one?
The movie called The Muppets.
Oh, okay.
Also 2011 with Jason Segel.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That was the first Muppet movie put out by Disney Studios, I believe. Or at least the cinematic version of the Muppets anyway. I had Muppet Treasure Island on the list.
Until I told you that it's not.
Yeah, until
Disney.
you told me that it was produced under a different studio.
Yeah.
And then acquired by Disney. So, okay, fine. But the Muppets, oh man, I remember walking out of the theater. I had low expectations for this movie. I was like, oh no, they're getting the Flight of the Conchords guy to write the music, and Jason Segel, this is all stunt casting and stunt writing, and okay, here we go. And I was so charmed by this movie. I had the best time. It was the cinematic version of the Muppet Show that we never knew that we needed, and it was so good, so funny.
This is making me think that we need to do a live stream specifically of just Muppet movies.
I think it was kind of foreshadowed a little bit in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, the bit when you have Jason Segel and he's doing and I am Van Helsing and he was doing all that
Well, Jason Segel actually wrote a vampire puppet musical.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the Muppets so much. All right, number 2, Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black
Pearl. Very nice.
A movie so good it spawned 5 sequels, hoping to recapture that lightning in a bottle, of which it has not.
Nope.
Nope.
I still enjoy the other ones, but they don't live up to the original.
They can't.
Yeah.
It was so good. And then number 1, can anyone take a stab in the dark as to what my number 1 is?
Can you give us an era? Is it pre-2000s or post-2000s?
No.
Okay.
Is it?
It should be obvious.
Is it Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
It is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. A movie so perfect, no one has ever dared to make a sequel or a remake.
They can't. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. Well, I mean, there is a way. There is a way. There was another. Oh, with he just died. Val Kilmer. There was a film with him that had very similar type. I think
Elements.
it was called like So Cool. I think.
Oh,
Yeah, I
right.
never saw that, but
Okay.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
The thing that makes it challenging to make another film like that is the fact that they had Warner Brothers characters in it as well. It
Yes.
wasn't just like, I mean, yes, it was produced by Disney, but they had characters from other
Mhm.
animation studios in it.
Yeah.
Like Betty Boop was in it as well, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
So
was in it, yeah. She was like, "Oh, Mr. Valiant."
And it was, I don't know, it was such a lightning in a bottle. I think that's going to be the phrase of the evening. Thanks for that, Sharad.
You're welcome.
But it very much is a lightning in a bottle kind of a movie that was so traumatic, but also so joyful and gleeful, and and the achievement. No one had seen anything like that before. And it was written and directed by Bob Zemeckis and Bob Gale, who, of course, Back to the Future.
Mhm.
But man, such a great movie.
And you know, like one thing that like as you mentioned, it still holds up. Like technically, you know, the fact they were they're able to ease in the animation with the live action, dude. Like honestly, if that came out today, no one would bat an eye.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, there are still YouTube videos being made on how they technically achieved that film. Like the whole sequence where Eddie is handcuffed to Roger Rabbit, and then the weasels come into his apartment, and he's got to like hold Roger in the sink. How did they get the water to like blast and special effects the way that they did?
Yeah.
Like that was such a technical achievement. That was beautiful.
Yeah, and I think I saw another video. Funny you mentioned that. Where, again, spoiler alert, everyone. The twist of there's a bit of a twist in terms of who the villain actually is, in terms of his backstory and who he really is. And I remember watching that and with the reveal, and that terrified me as a kid. And I think even now it holds up when you see the effect mixed in with the live action. I'm like, huh. So it's
because
great.
the villain is who you think it is, but it's not.
Yes.
Who you think it
Yeah.
is.
The villain is not the person you think they are, but they are the villain.
Yeah.
But not in the way that you think they're the villain.
Yeah.
I think like something else that always kind of like always stuck out to me was, you remember when he had the special bullets? For some reason, I don't know why, like that always like comes back to me.
I'm going to go in the other room for a moment, and I will be right back.
Hurry.
That's all right. Sharad, do you want to give your list while we're waiting for Mike to come back?
Okay, so in no particular order, we have Mary Poppins, Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and this one is the last one I have. This one might be a bit of a weird one, but it's actually Old Yeller that came out in the 50s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because for those who might not know, I'm a massive dog person, and I remember like when I was younger, like watching Homeward Bound for the first time, and when you thought, like, again, spoiler, that we all thought that Shadow wasn't going to make it. When he shows up, everyone's like, "Oh my god, he made it!" And around that same time, my mom got me Old Yeller on VHS. And unfortunately, he didn't make it back, and I was like, "No!" And and it's just it was just a great film.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen Old Yeller. No, it's not one of the ones that I was classically brought up on. I don't know. I guess I'm not. Is Homeward Bound the one that had the two dogs and the cat that were okay. So I've seen that one. But I don't know. I guess.
Oh, he's got them.
Wow, that's why you went away.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Nice.
So this is a gift for a buddy of mine, so that he can paint them screen accurately. But yeah, like
Don't
all
give
the,
it to him. Don't give it to him. Just keep him.
I know, right? Got all the little dum-dums.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Nice.
It's
I
all
won't
good.
forgive you. It's okay. I won't forgive you.
So 3 of your top 5 were also on Mike's list.
Mhm.
I heard the numbers 5, 4, and 3, and then number 1 was Old Yeller, I think.
In no particular order, yeah.
What was number 2?
Number 2 was Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Pirates of the Caribbean, Mary Poppins.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honey.
Classic film. All right. We'll do my I have a list of 10 as well. So I have, I'm surprised I didn't put Who Framed Roger Rabbit first, considering I was like, when we were originally doing the list, I'm like, that could have been on my top 10 of the animated ones. But yeah, I have Mary Poppins on mine as well. Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Ooh.
You guys see that one?
No problem.
I loved Bedknobs and Broomsticks when I was a kid. The whole sequence towards the end of the film where she uses the magic to bring to life the entire arsenal of
Yeah.
I wonder if I can still remember the chant. It was something like Orenam, Durinam. Oh nope, I'm thinking of Indiana Jones and the Temple.
Yeah, that's what it was. Kalima Shakti Day.
Yeah, no, that
No.
whole sequence I thought was so magical.
Amazing.
I mean, granted, yes, they're using magic, but like,
but the suits of armor in particular, like, just yeah,
because it was creepy,
Mm.
but it was like the good guys were controlling the suits of armor. It was almost like the dead coming back to life.
Yeah.
Almost, yeah. Oh, I love this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl.
Yeah.
I mean, how could that not be on somebody's top 10 live action Disney films?
Yeah.
Pardon?
If you're not into pirate movies,
Maybe, but I feel like even if you're not a pirate person, it's like, because
it was just a good movie. It was a good movie.
Yeah, it's just a Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Mm-hmm.
Return to Oz. Yeah, I told you it was on my list too. Pete's Dragon was another one I watched a lot growing up.
That so much. Mickey Rooney.
Yeah. Obviously the original. I don't think I've seen the remake.
It's surprisingly decent. It's a very different movie. It's a very different movie. But yeah,
I think for me, one of the things that's struck me about Pete's Dragon was the song. Is it Candle on the Water, right? From
I think so.
That film.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that song was just like, I don't know, really, really resonating. The recent live action remake of Lilo and Stitch, which I watched last week.
Oh, okay.
I actually really liked it. Despite all of the changes, I know that some people find very controversial. I was fine with the changes because, it's a different film.
Well, I mean, did the changes work? Did they serve the story?
I thought it was fine. I can understand why people had issues with it, like having read like their commentary on it. But I think for this era it was also fine, and it does make it have a different ending, but I don't think that means that the ending is wrong per se. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Nice.
The live action remake of The Little Mermaid. I also really thought they did a great job of that one.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
I know that a lot of people were like up in arms about it, like before it came out. So I don't know, like, I think they still had like mixed reviews after it was released as well, but I was blown away by it. And the controversial one that I said was on my list, and I'm going to put caveats out there. I grew up in Australia with no cultural context for why this film has never, ever been released on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, anything in the United States. And so, like, Disney has basically tried to bury this film and have been cutting it out of even the theme parks by rebranding Splash Mountain, and that is Song of the South. Because my dad mentioned it was one of his favorites as well. I do understand to some extent why it has been buried, but I think that it would be better for it to be made available so that people can discuss the problematic parts of it.
Yeah.
Rather than pretending that it didn't exist.
I mean, that's kind of been Disney's whole thing recently, is that, like, on Disney Plus they'll release all these different my wife is charging her portable phone charger in the wall, and it has stop. It has a leather strap hanging off the side.
By the way, audiences, he's talking to his cat, not to his wife.
Sorry. That is a very
good call. Yeah. Good call.
All right, stop. Hey, knock it off. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Disney's been making this real big deal about
putting disclaimers at the top of films. Like Peter Pan, I think, has a disclaimer in front of it. Dumbo apparently does.
Lady and the Tramp.
So, why can it not be available just for being able to dissect it and talk about why certain aspects of that film shouldn't be repeated nowadays? But still, because I was talking with ChatGPT about this film because I know about the controversial aspects of it, but Zippity Doodah was won an Oscar. And the guy who played Uncle Remus, it sounds like he got an honorary Oscar for that role as well.
Oh, that I don't know.
At least that's what ChatGPT said. So ChatGPT can make mistakes. I don't know for sure. I should have Googled that too. But regardless, obviously growing up in Australia, I didn't have the historical context of the racist background of the South in the United States. I didn't learn about any of that history in school, so I didn't grow up with any of that stuff. So for me, it's more like the nostalgic aspect of this Uncle Remus guy is telling these great stories to all of these kids. And I don't know, I think there was a mix of black and white kids that were friendly with each other in that film, and I don't remember the context of all of the backgrounds of all of the characters, but whether or not they were, I don't think that they were slaves, but they were the help. They were the help.
Slaves, but the movie kind of takes place in the era of when they would have been employed, or their parents would have been employed, whether forcefully or otherwise, on a plantation.
So, but I guess what I'm thinking is one of the kids who was black was more. I think he rescue the girl in it or something as well.
I don't.
Or he helped anyway. So this is it's been a while since I've seen it. But yeah, so the reason I've seen it as much as I have was because I guess it aired on TV in Australia at some point during my childhood, and my dad taped it on, you know, our VCR, and so I was
Nice.
able to watch it like repetitively, like, you know, a lot. And so when I learned that it had never been officially released, and I was like, oh, I'm never going to be able to get it on DVD. And then I found it on DVD in a shopping mall in Australia. So I ended up picking it up because I knew like it would be so hard to get a hold of otherwise.
Probably
So
a collector's item by now.
I do have it. I have no idea. Like it obviously wasn't released by Disney, but I was able to pick up a copy of it in a shopping mall in Australia. Can't have been entirely legal, surely, if it didn't have even Disney's branding on it. But yeah, so that's the end of
I
my
mean,
list.
you know, like every problematic film or piece of art, you know, with a few exceptions. I'm looking at you, Birth of a Nation.
Haven't seen it, but I have
That'll chestnut. Yeah.
There's, I mean, I don't feel like the majority of these kinds of stories intentionally try to promote terrible stereotypes of, you know, various cultures. They merely are a reflection of the times.
They're products of the times, definitely.
It's a product of the time. And today, in 2025, I know that we're doing stuff in cinema, in film, in television, in arts, in music, whatever, that is just as offensive. We just don't know it yet because nobody's told us that it's offensive.
Come out later on.
30, 50 years down the road, we'll come to find out, oh no, they were using the pronouns they, them. That is so offensive.
There's also, like, you know, with a lot of films that are like black films that are made focus on like that slave era to showcase how bad it was, right? But then there's the aspect of like, but is that all the only kind of black film that you can make? Like, give them like other stories to tell that are not like, you know, that story.
Well, at the time, because that movie came out in what, 40s?
I was talking about the current, like, more recent slave era films. But yeah, so this Song of the South came out during the Jim Crow era, which I think is one of the reasons why it's like about, or yeah.
I mean, it's a reflection of the time.
Yeah.
We can still connect to these stories. You know, I don't think that is a problem. I mean, especially being that you just disclose, like, oh no, I'm well aware of the problematic history. Don't condone it. Want nothing to do with that. But there are elements of this particular story that do connect with people.
Well, the other thing is, like, the parts that people most connected with are obviously Uncle Remus's stories, which are animated with Brer Rabbit, Brer Bear, and Brer Fox. You know, and that's the part that most people, I think, remember, plus the Zippity Doodah song at the end.
There was also the whole thing of Brer Rabbit being coated in tar. He was tarred and feathered.
Oh, right? Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And so that's one of the other incredibly problematic portions of the movie. Now, what they called him, what they referred to him as, I've seen copies, and I think they're on YouTube, where either Disney or somebody else has gone in and changed the verbiage. So they don't call him what he was originally referred to as. But, you know, he still gets tarred and feathered, which was, I mean, that was kind of a terrible punishment. The question is the tarring and feathering emblematic of terrible racial stereotypes, or was that just a reflection of how lynch mobs worked back in the day?
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Like, I've kind of been like having a similar discussion with some friends over something. Well, I mean, nothing as deep as what you were just talking about, Mike. But for example, have you two seen Tropic Thunder,
Of
starring Ben?
course.
Yeah.
And I was rewatching, I think, an interview with Robert Downey Jr. They're like saying, "Can you make that movie today?" And he was like, "Oh God, no, God, no." And that made me so sad. I was like, "Why? You were the chosen one." But yeah, it's definitely much so a product of its time.
I, to a point, kind of disagree with that sentiment of you can't make that movie today. Like The Office. Oh, you could never make The Office today. Well, guess what? They are. It's called The Paper, starring Donald Gleason.
Or you can, but it might not be received the same way.
Yeah. But I
right now.
But yeah, no. I think it's all about how you tackle the subject matter. Because there are some people who, let's just go back to Tropic Thunder, draw a line in the sand. They had a problem with that movie then. They have a problem with that movie now. Under no uncertain circumstances, there are no exceptions ever for blackface. And I get it. But also, context is everything. They're
Right.
not the point that Ben Stiller was making by putting Robert Downey Jr. in blackface is not, this is funny, right? The point that they were making was, this is terrible.
Yeah, it was
And
a
this is-
commentary on it.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
these
this
are
is
awful
why.
people in
Yes.
an awful industry. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was showcasing why you don't cast a white person to play a black character.
Yeah.
It's like playing with mercury, you know, like, you know, okay.
Because, you know, by the end of it, he gets called out by the black guy in the group, right? And it's like, dude.
Al Pacino,
yeah. So
And also, you know, if it begs the question, if this is true, what else is true? Let's take a look at the movie White Chicks.
Right.
The Wayans brothers are not crucified to the same point, to the same degree that Robert Downey Jr.
Downey Jr. And you're sick.
He's not, yeah, and I'm sick. They're not being crucified to the same degree that RDJ was, because historically, white people playing black characters was the norm. Black actors playing white characters has never been the norm, still isn't. And so that can be perceived as it getting a pass. It's just a silly, funny thing, but it's the same offense. It's the same exact offense. But
I think it comes under that, you know, punching up versus punching down thing, though.
Nice. Yeah.
And I think both of those are examples of punching up. But some people would argue that RDJ was punching down. I don't know. I don't know how to fix racism, you guys.
Neither do I. You know, I do my best by just being friends with anyone doesn't matter what their background is, but you know, you can't. Yeah, it's not a overnight solvable issue. All right, shall we bring out some of my dad's comments?
Yeah, let's hear from Frank.
Okay, where are we up to? This one, I believe. The Haunted Mansion reminds my dad more of riding the ride for the first time at Disney California. So this is the thing. Why I haven't seen the original Haunted Mansion film is because I thought that Disney was just trying to repeat the magic of Pirates of the Caribbean by making another film based on a ride from Disneyland.
Oh, they were.
Oh, they were.
And obviously, but like, but given how amazing Pirates of the Caribbean was, I'm like, nothing is ever going to live up to that standard of a film being based on a ride from a theme park.
I really thought that they cracked the code. I really did with Pirates. And then Haunted Mansion came in, and it was so bad. I hated it so much. And even with the remake, I wanted to love it so much. And there's nothing. I feel like the remake is a better movie. It's a better version, but it's still lacking joy. Like
it's very much so a corporate product, isn't it?
I liked it, but I certainly wouldn't say it's like up there as like a masterpiece, right? So I got enough enjoyment out of it, but I would not like rank it up there.
I feel like one of my biggest gripes with the Haunted Mansion, because there have been 3 Haunted Mansion movies.
Is the other one the Muppets one?
Yeah. I don't like any of them for the most part. And it sucks because Haunted Mansion is not just one of my favorite rides. It ties Tower of Terror for being my absolute favorite ride at Disney. Wow. So I think what they need is something that Disney, at least recently, has not been willing to do, which is they need to be horror films. They need to play like a horror film. You need to feel like you're on the ride. You need to feel like you're there. There's a campy fun to the ride that they're not really tapping into. They tapped into the campy early 2000s family comedies of the time, but they didn't tap into the campy fun of the ride. And I feel like there's a really great story there, because there's so many stories to tell within the Haunted Mansion. You have the bride who keeps getting married, who kills her husband just right after they get married.
That old chestnut, yeah.
That's really cool. You've got the grim grinning ghosts. You have the ghost host, like the kind of like whoever's in charge of this whole thing, right? There are so many different aspects that you could tackle. You could do multiple versions within the same universe, so to speak, or like within the same house. You can do so many different stories, and it, like, I'm so bewildered as to how they haven't like cracked that yet.
Yeah, I haven't done it successfully.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that. In my opinion, it's. I mean, a lot of these productions end up with being too many cooks. And I mean, and to be fair, from what I've heard, I'm sure you two have got friends or connections in the industry as well. Everything is definitely much a decision by committee. There's no such thing as the individual kind of artistic expression, at least not anymore.
Unless you are a Jerry Bruckheimer who did Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yep.
He had the name. He had the pedigree.
He had the money.
And the money.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Right. The next comment from my dad. He says, "I have 2 Muppets standout, both based on classics. Muppet Treasure Island used about all the comedy genres, and Muppet take on the Scrooge story, Christmas Carol. But unfortunately, not Disney films. So we will save that discussion for
Disney
when we
distributed films,
yes, but not Disney produced films.
Right.
So we will save discussion of those when we do a live stream about Muppets movies.
Both of those. Your dad touched on Muppet Christmas Carol, which I do have one story to tell about that. Christmas 1992, I believe. I wanted to go see Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. And it was in theaters at the same time as Muppets Christmas Carol. And my brother really wanted to see Muppets, and I really wanted to see Home Alone. My parents were just, whatever. We'll see whichever one you guys decide on. But we fought so hard against each other that the only course of action that my parents could take was that we voted. We wrote on a slip of paper which movie we wanted to see, and we put it in a hat. And there was 4 of us, so democratic process. I was the only one in my family who wanted to see Home Alone, and so we ended up going to see Muppets Christmas Carol, and I hated it only because
you didn't get your choice.
Home Alone.
Didn't get your way.
It doesn't do with the movie.
I can just imagine you there as a kid, just eating your popcorn. Just going,
yeah. But it's amazing how much like that kind of experience can shape how you feel about a film, right? Yeah. All right, my dad's next comment, he says, Old Yeller is the best over most dog movies, except for maybe Greyfriars Bobby. I haven't even heard of that one.
I haven't seen
heard of that.
What
about Marley and Me?
Oh, the book is amazing.
Oh, read
the book.
I don't know. After the King was that's a good one. Live action, the Fred McMurphy. I don't know that one either.
I know Fred McMurray.
Oh no, yeah, sorry. He was Fred McMurray, Nutty Professor.
There you go. There you go.
I don't think I've seen that. What the original when it was made? I've seen the Eddie Murphy one.
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna call your dad out. Fred McMurray was not in the Nutty Professor. That was Jerry Lewis.
Ooh.
Fred McMurray, I take issue with that. Unless your dad can tell me that Fred McMurray played
somebody else.
A different character in that. Hold on, I gotta look this up.
I don't even know who Fred McMurray is. But I have heard of Jerry Lewis.
I love Fred McMurray.
But regardless, I have not seen the original Nutty Professor. I've only seen the Eddie Murphy version.
Let's see. Nutty Professor, 1963. Jerry Lewis. I'm going through. Ooh, Kathleen Freeman. Oh, she's wonderful. Buddy Lester, Skip Ward, Henry Gibson. I love Henry Gibson. Nope, no mention of Fred McMurray.
Oh, my dad got it wrong. Well, he also suggests that Goonies is Goonies is also not a Disney film. So live action Goonies impacted me. Not sure that was Disney because of Spielberg, but
Goonies is top tier.
It is amazing film for kids from that era, but everyone, but it's not a Disney film.
Does anyone know what Goonies never say?
Die. They never say die. Yeah. I was actually just yesterday wearing my Goonies t-shirt. So that's how much of a fan that I am.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I also have a Goonies board game, but I've never played it because I have so many board games on my shelf.
I have that board game. It is in my closet right over there. I have played it. It is surprisingly very fun.
Is it the same one though? Because I went to a toy store last Sunday that had a different Goonies board game than the one that I have.
Let's find out.
The one I have is, I think, produced by Funko.
Funko.
That's
Funko's more recent, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the more recent one. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so. Oh, my dad was talking about Flubber. The original Flubber, not the remake with Robin Williams. I've only seen the Robin Williams one.
Yeah, me too.
So there you go. Mike is pulling up the game.
Flubber. Yes. Goonies Never Say Die.
Yeah, that's
Funko.
That's the same one that I have.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So it's a good one. Good to know. I have a couple of other Funko games that I haven't played yet. I have a Goofy Movie board game that I haven't played, but I think that was produced by Funko as well.
I haven't even opened the Back to the Future one yet.
Don't open it. Don't open it. Save that for an unboxing video.
Ooh.
Okay, so
The
my
Goonies one is actually really fun.
dad says McMurray plays the inventor in
Flubber.
So that's what he was thinking of. All right, and then then his last comment that he has is Song of the South stands out spiritually for overcoming personal challenges through positive belief. It is kind of like Dumbo and the overcoming bullying theme. Yeah, I guess that was my takeaway from it as well. But like I said, growing up in Australia, I didn't have the cultural context and so for me, it's the more nostalgia aspect of like it being a film that I watched a lot of times when I was a kid. But I have seen it since I learned about the controversial aspect of it and their interpretations, and was able to watch it again within that context. And you can hold multiple truths in your mind about things at the same time. That's all I want to say about that.
Did it change your viewing experience with the context?
I don't think so. Because I still had the nostalgia aspect of it, I think that, and maybe I just wanted to like revisit it from that kind of mindset rather than, the other stuff.
I feel like
yeah. All right, so those were what we had planned to discuss. I have a couple of hopefully short questions if you have time to discuss.
Yeah.
So rapid fire questions.
I'm only going to give you an hour.
I know.
And now we're an hour 40, but
I know.
I'm enjoying this conversation.
That's why I asked and wanted to check in with you, Mike. So which Disney live action remakes of the animated films have you seen? Sharad hasn't seen any of them.
I've heard they're really bad.
It depends on I don't think I've seen any of the ones that are said to be really bad.
I don't think there are any bad live action remakes, but hold on, I have to pull up a list.
Well, see, from my perspective, whenever a remake is made, it should be made for a reason to tell a different part of the story that wasn't originally told.
And sometimes it is. They're not all.
But from what I've heard, in terms of the Disney live action remakes, most of them are either shot for shot or, let's say in the case of Mulan, it becomes this completely random side tangent in how Mulan actually has superpowers instead of the fact that it could be anyone who stands up. And so that kind of away from it.
I'll read through the list that ChatGPT gave me, but this interesting call out is Mulan is not on this list, interestingly enough. Okay. So it has Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book in 1994, which is loosely based on the 1967 animated film. 101 Dalmatians in 1986. Is
that the one with Glenn Close?
Yes, that one. Mm-hmm. The 102 Dalmatians, which is the sequel to the 1996 remake, not based on the original animation. Alice in Wonderland, which was the Tim Burton one. I don't feel like that. I don't feel like that was a remake per se. That was more a different version of the book, right? Rather than
it was.
Which I'm just like, why are you telling me this?
Well, if we're talking about Alice in Wonderland, the story that they told in the movie called Alice in Wonderland was closer to Through the Looking Glass.
Yeah.
And then the movie called Through the Looking Glass was an original story. Kind of.
Interesting.
ChatGPT listed Maleficent, which it's a reimagining of Sleeping Beauty. This isn't technically. I wouldn't say this is a live action remake because it's
it's its own story.
It's Sleeping Beauty told from a different perspective, a different character.
I thought Maleficent was okay. I liked the concept better than I actually liked the
Yeah,
movie.
same. Cinderella in 2015, which
that
is
was
a
pretty good.
faithful remake of the 1950 animated version. I don't think that I've seen that one.
No,
I
I
saw
haven't.
it fairly recently. And I thought it was fine. But I
The
did
Jungle Book in 2016, which is a hybrid CG / live action remake of the 1967
That's
film.
the only Jungle Book version I've seen.
You haven't seen the original Disney animated version?
Oh, dude, you need to get on that. Do some
Yeah.
homework, please.
Yeah,
dude.
there's another one that you need to go through. I haven't seen this version either.
I liked it for what it was. I thought it was fun.
Good for you. Good.
Well, I think sometimes it helps if you haven't seen the original to compare it to as well.
Yeah.
So maybe that makes a difference.
Yeah.
The Beauty and the Beast with Emma Watson.
Oh, Hermione, yeah, that's
Yes,
the one.
2017.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one I was fine with. It's still not the animated film, but it wasn't like terrible.
No.
Christopher Robin in
I
2018.
thought was adorable.
I'm pretty sure I cried in that one.
I adored that. In fact, I actually considered putting that on my top 10 live action remakes or live action Disney films. I thought it was because, well, also that wasn't a remake. That's a very different story.
It's just that using an IP and just telling.
It says, ChatGPT says it's a live action continuation of the Winnie the Pooh franchise, not a direct remake, but closely tied to Disney's animated Pooh legacy.
I thought it was so charming.
Yeah. Dumbo in 2019. Was I even aware that was remade? Like,
it was directed by Tim Burton.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Really?
I haven't seen it. I might have been vaguely aware of it, but it was certainly not on my radar.
It has Michael Keaton and Danny DeVito in it.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito, Tim Burton, Batman Returns.
I was about to say Batman.
No, I know. It's like, oh, wow.
Okay.
Aladdin in 2019, which had Will Smith as the genie, right?
I actually really liked Will Smith as the genie. I thought he did a great job.
See, I have not brought myself to watch it because I'm like, how can you replace Robin Williams as the genie? That's my primary kind of thing.
Yeah.
I will probably eventually check it out. I watched the Broadway musical version of it, which I think was probably from that. I don't know which came first, whether it was the movie or the.
The Broadway show, definitely.
Okay.
It's been on Broadway for years and
years. So I guess I'm familiar with the music, and I was not a fan of the Broadway musical. I'm like, this is not my thing. So that also was like, did not entice me to watch the live action remake of it.
Fair enough.
The Lion King, which is a photorealistic CG remake, so technically not live action, but it's on the list. Lady and the Tramp, which was a 2019 Disney Plus.
It was straight to Disney Plus. It was phenomenal. I thought it was really, really well done. Okay. I was so impressed with that. Yeah.
All right, I will have to check it out while I still have Disney Plus then.
Actually, I will go so far as to say I think that is one of, if not the best live action remake. Now, I haven't seen Lilo and Stitch, but I thought that one was absolutely phenomenal.
Okay, I will check it out. The Little Mermaid, which I mentioned because it was on my list. Peter Pan and Wendy, which was a straight to Disney Plus. You like Peter Pan and Wendy?
I almost put that on my live action list as well. It's just a classic retelling of Peter Pan. They changed a few things, but
I think for me, so I ended up. That was one of the movies. I think that was the movie that made me subscribe to Disney Plus on my own instead of borrowing somebody else's because they changed their password and they were going through some stuff at the time that I didn't want to interrupt and say, hey, what's your password? Because they were going through stuff. So I ended up subscribing so I could watch it. And it wasn't entirely what I wanted it to be. So I think I was a little bit disappointed by it. Yeah.
I thought it was really charming.
And then, because ChatGPT was behind on when it was trained, it's got, let's see, the Snow White, which was just released recently. Haven't seen it yet. Lilo and Stitch, which just came out, and as I said, that's on my list. Let's see, not a remake, but a kind of spin-off was Cruella. Either of you seen that?
I loved Cruella.
Same. I almost put that on my list of top 10.
Yeah.
And I thought it was great. I think some people just like were not into it, but I loved it. I thought it was great.
Okay.
And upcoming, so things that haven't been released yet. Obviously, there's Moana is, I think probably going to be the next one. I've definitely seen, people talking about it. Right. Hercules is supposed to be being made. The Hunchback of Notre Dame, possibly. There's reported to be a photorealistic CG remake of Bambi.
Oh, God.
I almost put this on my top 10 animated list. Has anyone seen Brother Bear?
Yeah.
Yes, I almost also. That's amazing. Yeah, I have. That's one of the movies that I have a poster block mounted hanging on my wall.
That's so cool.
I think because like I had a friend who was working at a video store at the time, and he just like let me take movie posters when they didn't need them anymore, and that was one of the ones that I got for free from him.
Nice.
Yeah, block mounted it. So reportedly also in development is the Aristocats, Robin Hood, potentially on Disney Plus, and rumored but not officially confirmed Tangled, and still speculative Frozen.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I feel like it's too early for Frozen.
I agree. Yeah.
I mean, the third movie is coming out in the not too distant future. So
yeah, right? Like exactly
with that box office.
Is there a Disney animated film that you would be really curious to see remade as a live action remake that has not been done so yet?
Specifically from animation to live action.
Yes.
As opposed to an older live action.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not really for me.
Home on the Range.
No. Ooh.
Oh my God. Wait, is that the one with the cow? Yeah. That movie was the worst. The worst.
Really bad. I never even finished it. I tried to sit down and watch it on 2 separate occasions, and I couldn't do it. It's so bad. I
did sit through the whole thing, but I felt like my eyes wanted to bleed. It was so bad.
I feel like there's something there. Like it could. Okay, so going back to your point, Sharad, about like why should this exist?
Yeah.
Is it just a cash grab? 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100. It's a cash grab, sure. Yeah. But I feel like a movie like Home on the Range, because it is so bad, there's nowhere to go but up, because I do think that there's something there, especially like there's a ton of people in Midwest America, middle America that live on farms that have that kind of culture. They know people who are all ingrained in that kind of environment. I feel like a story like that could really thrive. And truth be told, I don't even know what the story is, because I couldn't sit down and watch it because it's so bad.
Yeah.
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 Feel like a live action version of Chicken Little could be really cool.
Ooh,
I'm
okay.
going through the list of animated films on Wikipedia. How about let's just go through the list and see whether you think that a live action would work or not.
Go for it.
So Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs already been made. Pinocchio. I think I would watch a Pinocchio live action remake.
They have. It's with Tom
Wait.
Hanks.
Oh, they did? And I
Yeah.
haven't watched it yet. And it wasn't on the list that see, chat, this is why ChatGPT is unreliable.
I liked it. I know a lot
should
of
watch
people
it.
hated it. I liked it.
Okay.
I thought
Okay.
it was fun.
Fantasia. I don't think that you could do a live action
I don't
remake
think
of
you
that.
could.
I don't think.
What? There's no story to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Are any of you familiar with this film from 1941 called The Reluctant Dragon?
I've heard of it. I know nothing about
No.
it.
Okay.
No.
Dumbo has been done. Bambi is rumored. Saludos amigos.
Never heard of that one.
I don't think that you could do a live
That's
action
the
of that.
one that precludes the Three Caballeros, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't think I have it on DVD anymore. Or maybe I do, but I've only watched it once and I didn't think it was that great.
I just realized there was a movie that I should have put on my top 10 that I didn't. Brave Little Toaster.
Never seen it.
Are you familiar? I've never heard of this one with Victory Through Air Power.
Nope.
Oh, yes. That was a World War II American propaganda film.
Ah,
Oh.
so maybe that's been buried like some of the South was. Wow. Okay. Let's see. The Three Caballeros was next. That one I enjoyed when I was younger, but I feel like I rewatched it when I was older and I wasn't as thrilled about it.
I haven't seen it since I was under 8 years old.
Oh gosh. I haven't seen it at all.
Make Mine Music. I can't remember if I've seen that one. Like, I think that was another one that was along the lines of the Three Caballeros and Saludos Amigos.
Yeah.
Song of the South, they're clearly not going to redo. Maybe they could redo it without the problematic parts.
Yeah, of course they could.
I mean, could, yes.
Would they?
Well, they no,
Would,
they're
no,
not going
because
to.
the public would push back too hard.
That's true. Fun and Fancy Free, Melody Time. These are also like not great ones. Are you familiar with So Dear to My Heart? I haven't heard of this one.
Yes. That was one of my mother's favorite movies.
Oh.
Oh man, I don't remember anything. I remember she sat me down and said, like, you need to watch this because I love to
watch this, boy.
I remember watching it and just like, I didn't hate it, but I don't remember anything about it. Like, I just blocked it from my memory because it was something that I didn't want to be forced to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, that's like kind of the demand avoidance stuff. You're like forced it. Yeah. That's why I only watch things with my kids that they are interested in watching with me. I would never force them to watch anything that they weren't interested in. As much as I might like really want them to. Like, you have to watch this thing. It's so amazing. If they're not into it, they're not into it.
I'm not watching Goonies, Mom.
That one I have. I did. Okay, I kind of tried to make them watch it with me. I was like, at least give it a chance, and if you don't like it, you can walk away. I think my son ended up watching the whole thing, and then my daughter didn't. The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
I've heard of it.
Toad, I think, would be a tough one.
to do a remake with a live action.
I think it would be tough to do just a full length feature, whether it's animated
Yeah.
or not. I don't. The story is so adult, and not that it has adult themes, but like it's so boring. It's a boring movie. It's like a court case with frogs.
Yeah.
Um,
Wrong.
I don't ever see that being a thing.
No,
Um,
I'm pretty sure I saw it one time and was, I don't even remember anything about it. So that tells you all you need to know about what I thought of the film.
but then the Adventures of Sleepy Hollow. My goodness, there is a television show. The Adventures of Sleepy Hollow. No, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow has been done so many different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always down for more, but because Sleepy Hollow is just like 45 minutes to an hour that way.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dope.
I think the only one that I've really watched is the film with, is it Johnny Depp and Christina
Yeah.
Ricci?
Yeah, that's the best one.
Yeah.
I think I might have that on DVD, but I'm not 100% sure.
Actually, I feel like Disney, that would actually be a really good remake, like a live action remake to be done, because you don't need any animated characters.
Yeah.
And the story is so rich. Like you could do some really fun things. Like take those songs that were sung by Bing Crosby in the film and update the songs. I think that could be really, really cool. And like make it spooky. Not like scary.
Oh yeah.
Spooky.
Yeah.
That would be really fun.
That'd be dope.
Okay. Cinderella, they've already done. Alice in Wonderland. I think rather than the version that ChatGPT said, which I don't think is technically a remake of the animated film, I would be curious to see a live action remake of Alice in Wonderland with like an animated CGI Cheshire Cat.
Who would you cast it? Who would you cast as Alice?
Well, you'd have to pick somebody younger, so it really depends on when they make it, because it'd have to be someone who is like a teenager really when they're making it,
or younger.
Or younger. Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
like 10 years old maybe.
Yeah, but a teenager that looks 10 is kind of where I was going with that.
Who would you cast as the Queen of Hearts?
Ooh. Maybe the lady who plays in The Handmaid's Tale, who is the lady who looks after all, Lydia.
I know. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think she would be a great Queen of Hearts.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Aunt Lydia. Yeah.
What about the Cheshire Cat?
So we'd be going with the voice, but would you want to have like I could see face based off of Steve Buscemi.
Of course, yeah. Most beautiful man. He has to be in everything.
Yeah, because it kind of reminds me of Steve Buscemi's Monsters Inc. character as well. You don't know what I'm talking about?
I do know he was like the salamander.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
It's like the big mouth thing is kind of like Cheshire Cat as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay.
He kind of is, isn't he?
Yeah.
I can see that.
There you go. Who would voice the White Rabbit?
Jason Momoa.
Martin Short.
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin Short.
Yeah.
That's a thing. Have two white rabbits.
There you go.
There you go. What about the caterpillar?
Well, if Alan Rickman wasn't already dead.
Right.
Yeah.
He would have been a good one.
Yeah.
He would have been a great one.
I don't know why, but Crispin Glover is coming to mind.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good voice.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum. This is what, like, when you brought up people that could not be cast because they're dead, I was thinking Chris Farley. Chris Farley would be
Chris Farley would be
great.
perfect. You know, if we got Chris Farley and David Spade both playing Tweedledee and Tweedledum, that would have been perfect.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you could always do another like Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito thing.
Exactly, we're twins.
Yeah. Danny DeVito was another name that I was thinking could fit for that. Yeah. I mean, he could play both because they're basically the same person.
Well, yeah,
anyway.
of course, yeah.
So, all right. Have we cast enough?
Oh, yeah.
Disney, get on it. Cast especially Aunt Lydia as the queen. Okay. It's so good. Yeah. She's such a great.
What came after Alice in Wonderland?
Yes, Peter Pan, which we've already discussed. They did the Peter Pan and Wendy, Lady and the Tramp, which they've already done. Sleeping Beauty. I'm not counting Maleficent as a remake because it's a retelling from a different perspective. Do you think it's
honestly that could be really, really cool? But you'd have to lean into the fantasy.
101 Dalmatians has already been done. The Sword in the Stone, which was on Sharad's list. Could you see a live action remake of that?
Anything is possible.
Or would you watch?
It's so hard to top that.
So would you watch? I guess that's the question. Would you watch a live action remake of it? And yeah, I agree. I think that would be hard to top the animated version of it.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I think it might be a bit too difficult, I think.
We could reverse. Would you watch an animated Mary Poppins?
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. Would you want it to be in like the Tangled style animation, like Tangled Frozen, like more 3D kind of style, or would you want it to be more in the 2D kind of animated style from the classic Disney?
3D,
because I think if you do it in 2D, people would say, well, if you're going to release something from that time period, don't release the animated version from that time period. You have to mix it up.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be interesting.
Then for the scenes that are animated in Mary Poppins, would you make those live action? Do the reverse?
Yeah. Why not?
I think that'd be interesting to do a swap that way.
That'd be a nice experiment, yeah.
The Jungle Book, which has already been done. The Aristocats, which
can't work.
Yeah. Because it's more cats, so it's more like the CG. Like there is like two. No, I guess you could. There's two characters that are live action characters. There's the mistress, and then there's Edgar.
Yeah,
Edgar, the butler. The butler. Yeah.
I get that I haven't seen the Aristocats, but that also doesn't strike me as a property that I would want to see remade live action.
Fair.
Yeah. No, I would probably feel the same way. I don't know that I would watch it. Bedknobs and Broomsticks, same question for Mary Poppins. Would you reverse the animation and...
Absolutely. That would just be really fun, I think. And it would also get, and the same thing with Mary Poppins. I think it would get a new generation of kids interested in the original IP. And kind of keep the...
magic alive.
Mary Poppins is huge, right? Everybody knows Mary Poppins. Not a lot of people know Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Yeah.
Not unless you grew up in that kind of era. So that film was in 1971. It was released, but still very much a film for 80s kids, 80s and 90s kids. The animated Robin Hood, which is apparently they're thinking of. I don't think I would watch a CG remake of that. Like, how would they do it? Because
how could they?
I don't know.
But I don't feel like they would capture the same
The
qualities.
magic
as
won't
the-
be there, no.
Yeah. The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Well, as we said, like the Christopher Robin film was pretty well done, so it's possible.
There's also a continuation, but yeah.
The Rescuers, I don't.
No.
When you've got the characters are basically all animals.
Creatures,
Who, like, I can understand like the CG version of the Lion King because they're not like animals dressed up in clothes.
I
It's like
would
a different kind of thing.
So I would postulate this. If they did the Rescuers the same way that they did Chip and Dale, the movie, I could maybe get into that. Because I've only ever seen Rescuers Down Under. I've never seen the original.
Oh wow!
But
because there are human characters in it as well. It's set in the Bayou. In Louisiana. There's a little girl who is she kidnapped or she's just like under yeah.
Is it a murder mystery? Not a murder mystery, but like it's not a whodunit?
No,
it's a kidnapping.
It's a kidnapping, and I guess the lady who gets her kidnapped is holding her for a ransom or something. Is that right?
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I think the problem with the photorealistic live action stuff is that they are trying to make it look like it could potentially exist in our world. Whereas if you take the Chip and Dale approach
I really like that.
Let there be a conceit that, oh yeah, there are talking mice that walk around and dress in hats and clothes in this world.
That one's more like Roger Rabbit.
Well, I mean, that's what they did with the Alvin and the Chipmunks live actions, right? So yeah,
exactly. I could see it. I agree. It could be conceived of to do it like that. See, Pete's Dragon. They've already done a remake of The Fox and the Hound.
I'm a hound dog.
that film almost made my top 10 as well. I love The Fox and the Hound.
Yeah.
I don't remember much of anything about Fox and the Hound.
It's just a really great story of friendship.
Friendship.
Yeah. It's a really good friendship story. The Black Cauldron. Would you watch a live action remake of that?
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
I might even prefer a live action version of that one. I don't know. The Great Mouse Detective.
Let's go back to Black Cauldron.
Basil. Okay.
So Black Cauldron, forgive me if I get these facts wrong, but I don't think that even though that it was produced by Disney, I don't think there were Walt Disney animators who worked on the film. I think it was a different animation studio that was hired by Disney to create this.
Interesting. It did feel like a different style than Disney. Yeah. It felt more like the Last Unicorn kind of style of animation.
Exactly.
Right?
Which that was Rankin and Bass, I believe. Hold on. Now I have to double check myself. Last Unicorn.
Another great animated film that I have on DVD from my childhood, but is not Disney.
Okay, so Last Unicorn was animated by a company called Topcraft that later became Studio Ghibli.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, I was right. It was a Rankin Bass production. Okay, I was right. Rankin and Bass, one of their most famous pieces of animation was the original Hobbit movie.
Oh, no way.
From like 1970 something.
Didn't wasn't that also in collaboration with Ralph Bakshi Productions? Isn't that what um, the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings singular film was a production of?
So the rights got all sorts of like screwed up and
Yeah.
tangled and whatever. So you had, I can't remember which came first, but I believe the Hobbit movie came first. And then there was Lord of the Rings, which was owned by a different animation studio. But somehow Rankin and Bass retained the animated film rights to Return of the King. So the Lord of the Rings animated movie is kind of a combo. It's live action slash rotoscoping slash animation. It's a very, if you've seen it, it's
Amazing.
crazy.
Mm.
It's crazy.
Oh,
It's so strange. But that movie only comprises Fellowship and Two Towers. But because the movie's only like an hour and a half long, 2 hours, something like that, they took some creative license with the storytelling. So it doesn't create a full narrative if you watch The Hobbit and then The Lord of the Rings and then Return of the King. Everything is so disjointed because they're all made by different animation studios. But Return of the King and Hobbit were the same studio.
All right. Where are we moving on from the Black Cauldron now? Or are you still looking stuff up?
I'm looking up who the animation studio was. Animated dark fantasy adventure film produced by Walt Disney Productions in association with Silver Screen. Yada yada yada. Production. Well, it shows Walt Disney Productions is the production company.
They just did a very different style. Or experimenting.
Yeah, very, very different.
All right. The Great Mouse Detective. I think it was released as Basil, the Great Mouse Detective in Australia.
I don't think I've heard of that.
I know of it, but I've never seen it.
Oh, so I'm the only one of us that has seen it. I don't think I would watch a live action remake. It is very much more like, those cartoony animal kind of stories. I don't think there are any human characters in it. Or if there are, I do not remember them. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? There's no possible way that they could remake it and it would be good. It is too perfect. No, it does not need to be done. we've covered that already. Oliver and Company.
Never
You
heard
guys
of
seen
that.
that one?
No.
Yeah, with the little dog, the little boy, and the little. It's basically just the story of Oliver.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's not a well. Is a little boy, but it's it takes place in New York. It's kind of like a modern take on the Oliver story, but as told with dogs.
Yeah. I'd
rather just see a live action remake of Oliver, or not live action.
a live action Oliver. Yeah, another reincarnation of Oliver.
Yeah.
The Little Mermaid has already been done. DuckTales, the movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp.
Sure.
No. I don't think it needs
to say no to
that. The Rescuers Down Under. If they did it like how we were discussing for the Rescuers and it being like Chip and Dale.
Yeah. I mean, you would have to make a very different movie.
Yeah.
Because those movies, like Disney animation in the 80s, I feel like they really lost the magic, the spark. They were just kind of making stuff because they needed to make stuff.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like there wasn't any fun. They weren't that fun, to be honest.
The 80s films?
Yeah.
Rescuers Down Under is from 1990.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like the 80s animation, Disney animation.
Yeah.
They weren't really fun.
I agree. Apart from The Fox and the Hound, which was 81. But yeah, The Black Cauldron.
I mean, there were good movies, sure.
Rescuers was 77.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
But even still, like, I don't know.
They weren't as classic.
Vibe.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see the new Tom and Jerry live action movie with Chloe Grace Moretz?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I might have done, but if I have, I don't really remember.
I really dug it. I really, really dug it. It's not great, but it's so much better than I thought it was going to be. It's also worse than I thought that it was going to be. But it has a real kids movie, like a modern kids movie kind of vibe to it, and I really dig it. And I think it worked really well. So if you were to do, like, bring back the Rescuers, bring back Rescuers Down Under, Oliver and Company, The Great Mouse Detective, like stuff like that, you would have to put a very, very modern spin on these stories. They can't.
And to be fair, knowing that track record, it'll just be merely cosmetic in terms of what they do.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Beauty and the Beast has been done. Aladdin has been done.
Yep.
The Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah,
no.
it's a classic for what it is, and I don't see how I could do a good live action.
I don't know why it's not a Broadway musical.
It should be.
Yeah,
it should be.
That would work. Yeah.
But a live action film, no.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
The Lion King has been done. A goofy movie.
And as a theater production, I saw it in London.
Oh yeah,
it was amazing.
I've seen the Broadway musical of Lion King too, and that was amazing.
I didn't love it.
You didn't like it? Well,
I didn't.
So,
Art.
would you see a live action remake of a Goofy movie? I don't feel like that's one that you can do with a live action.
No.
Even if you change the characters so that they were human characters rather than the animals that they are, then and retold that story, it still wouldn't be the same.
No.
Pocahontas.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yes, but I feel like the story that they told in the animated version is so generic. I would need, the villain was so I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
And John Smith was, I'm the white savior.
Yeah. They would need to redo it in a way that made more sense to the times now, and thinking about the political sides of it.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you tried redoing that now, you might be walking through a minefield, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would want new music. And I don't think that because I didn't love Pocahontas when it came out. Because Pocahontas came off the heels of Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
Consider this. We had Little Mermaid, which was a smash hit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you followed that up with Beauty and the Beast, which everyone was losing their minds over. And then Aladdin, which we're like, what?
Yeah.
And then
The Lion King.
And then The Lion King.
Yeah.
And we're just like, this is the best Disney has ever been, ever. Yeah. Holy cannoli. And then Pocahontas comes out, and it fell flat. And I understand there's a lot of people out there who love the Pocahontas movie. Good for you. For me, it totally fell flat. And I didn't like the feel of the world that they created. It just felt...
I did like it, but compared to all of the other ones, that you just listed, I don't think it measures up in the same way. But I do. It's another one that I have the soundtrack of. I love the soundtrack. So much so that for my 7th grade graduation, I choreographed my own dance to Just Around the River Bend.
Oh wow.
And as problematic as it might be today, back then in the 90s, 95, I dressed as Pocahontas for it. So yeah, I graduated seventh grade in 95, so I guess that was the same year. So you can see
You're
why.
basically Wednesday Addams from Addams Family.
There you go.
Yeah. James and the Giant Peach.
I think that could be interesting.
I don't think I really liked the animated one, but I think it could be interesting as a live action.
I think Tim Burton would have to stay far, far away from it.
Yeah.
I think if you had... Do you guys know who Travis Knight is?
Remind us.
Travis Knight directed the Bumblebee movie, the Transformers Bumblebee movie. He did Kubo and the Two Strings. He's a really solid storyteller. He's done like a lot of like really great storytelling type stuff, but then also his storytelling, the subject matter is always with something larger than life, like Transformers or Kubo and the Two Strings. Those are the only 2 movies that are coming to mind, but he's done a whole bunch. Now I have to look it up. Travis Knight filmography. He did. Oh, he's doing the upcoming Masters of the Universe movie.
Oh, dope.
Paranorman, Box Trolls, The Missing Link.
Okay, yeah.
Paranormal Jam, yeah.
Apparently, he directed UHF in 1989 with Weird Al Yankovic. Yeah, so he's got like a real solid filmography behind him. And coming from a stop motion animation background himself, I feel like he could do something really, really interesting visually on screen and tell a really heartfelt story.
So you'd get him to direct James and the Giant Peach as a live action remake.
Yeah.
The Hunchback of Notre Dame,
which you already said
which they're working on. Yeah, would you watch it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I did. I have the soundtrack for that one too.
I don't like the music. I thought it was a dumb story. Well, not a dumb story because it's based on the book, but not
you
that books are flawless.
You didn't enjoy the Disney adaptation of it.
No.
My favorite song from the soundtrack, I think, is the Hellfire song, where the priest guy is like, they're conflicted. The conflicted, huh?
It's the only good song.
Yeah. Yeah, but that I really enjoy that part of the film especially. Hercules, will you watch it seems that they're making that one. Will you watch it?
Yeah, I'll watch that.
I think I would be open to that one because I wasn't as thrilled about the animated version of it. I think, at least when I first watched it, I think it grew on me the most recent time that I watched it. And I don't know if either of you have played this, but there's a Hercules world in Kingdom Hearts 3, and I did enjoy that. So
I don't video game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm late to the Hercules party, so I liked it for what it is.
I think that was the film for me that after all of like the early 90s animated films that I was like, no.
Fair.
And then Mulan came out after that, so I was like, I love that one.
Tarzan's next, right?
They've after that, unless you want to count Doug's first movie, which was based on the animated series Doug.
I dressed like Doug for my high school yearbook photo something.
Doesn't he have a very generic look though?
Well, yeah, he had it was just a white
button up, right?
t-shirt.
Yeah.
No, it was a white t-shirt with a
t-shirt.
green sweater vest, like
He had like
sleeveless
giant denim pants.
khaki
Or
shorts.
khaki shorts.
Khaki shorts.
Well, there were two versions of that character as well, because Nickelodeon had its own version of it too, right?
Let's find out.
I think I like the Nickelodeon version.
So that's the version that I grew up with.
No, that's
Yeah,
sorry,
that's
you're right. My memory is crappy, but I'm pretty sure that Nickelodeon did their own version of it too.
You know, as silly as it sounds, I could actually see a live action Doug movie. Yeah, don't make it too corny. Don't make Skeeter have blue skin.
Yeah.
But keep Roger as the school bully. Patty Mayonnaise would definitely have to change her voice, because hearing that shrill sound for 2 hours or an hour and a half, I think would be too much. But I think there is enough in the world of Doug that I think
you could do it.
You could.
Yeah. Then yes, Tarzan is next. So we'll be doing a live action remake of the Disney animated version of this, because obviously Tarzan is its own property in its own right and has already had live action versions of it. So would you watch a live action remake of the Disney animated version of Tarzan? I would.
I think that would be a real spectacle.
Yeah, I think so. As I said, I love that film. It was in my top 10. And I think I talked about this on one of the other streams before, but the You'll Be in My Heart song from that soundtrack was the song that I danced to at my wedding. That was my wedding dance song.
Oh, that's fun.
Phil Collins never misses.
I want to skip over Tigger movie, Dinosaur. I don't like these are not like.
In a way, Dinosaur kind of. It was the precursor to the fully animated, but feeling like it's live action.
Yeah. The Emperor's New Groove, I think, would be interesting as a live action.
I'd watch that.
I think that'd be interesting.
There's no way you could do that and not bring back David Spade.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm going to skip over Recess School's Out because there's another one that was based on a TV series. Atlantis: The Lost Empire.
Yeah.
I was really blasé about that film. So I don't know that I would be interested enough to watch a live action remake of it.
I would be, only because I didn't like that movie.
It had so much potential as well.
I think I would wait to see what other people think of it before deciding if I would see it.
Especially kind of like looking at what Marvel did with Wakanda Forever and seeing the underwater kingdom, Atlantic kingdom or whatever. I think there's a lot of really cool visuals and stuff that you could do. You would just have to make the story a little bit better.
Yes. Improve the story and then do a live action remake, then maybe. Return to Neverland.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, but it's not like
Lilo and Stitch, which they've done. Treasure Planet. I know that you were not as thrilled about Treasure Planet, Mike. Would you watch a live action version of that one?
Yeah, I mean, I do like the Treasure Island story. If for anyone who did you guys watch Skeleton Crew, Star Wars?
No.
I did end up watching it at your recommendation, and I was not as impressed by it as what it seemed like everyone else was. It was okay, but it was not like at my.
I got you. I feel that.
But I would be open to a live action remake of Treasure Planet.
Yeah, that was Michael J. Fox, right? Or
No,
was
he was the Atlantis one. That was Joseph Gordon-Levitt was a Treasure Planet.
Gotcha.
Yeah. See me knowing my voice actor names for some of them. Yeah. Okay. Brother Bear, I feel like that's another one that was like, unless you did it like The Lion
Brother
King.
Bear would be awesome.
Remade like The Lion King.
Live action remake.
Yeah, that will work.
Yeah.
What the F is Teacher's Pet? Are you familiar with this one?
Oh, yes. Teacher's Pet is there was a movie that was based on a cartoon series on Disney. I never watched it, so I don't really know what it's about, but it's just like Doug's first movie.
Right. So I've skipped over all the other ones that were based on the animated TV series. Okay. Home on the Range. No, never, and they should bury the animated version too.
Yeah, that was pretty
bad. Valiant is I don't think I've seen that one. That was a bird one, right?
Yeah, I watched the trailer. So fairly recently, I went through this whole Disney, like, let's go back and watch every Disney movie. And that's where I started to watch Home on the Range, and I just couldn't do it. And that kind of broke me. That broke me out of that pattern. But Valiant was on the list. But I'll be honest, based on the trailer alone, it looks bad.
I think that was why I didn't watch it. Yeah. Yeah. But then the Chicken Little one was decent.
I think Chicken Little could be really cool. Like, I don't know, I'm kind of envisioning like a Men in Black. Well, I mean, like they kind of ripped off Men in Black a little bit, but a little Mars Attacks. You know, if they did it with live action, or if they did it with practical effects, as opposed to lean into the CGI, I think that could be really interesting.
The Wild.
I don't remember.
I felt like The Wild wanted to be Madagascar, and it sucked.
Yeah.
Because it came out around the same time.
Yeah.
But Madagascar was so much better.
Wild didn't have the penguins.
Meet the Robinsons.
Sure.
That was like a spacey family one, right?
I don't know. This is one that I would say Meet the Robinsons was kind of like middle of the road.
I think they could make it, but I don't think that I'd be interested enough to watch it.
I don't think anybody would be interested.
There you go. And like, if they're wanting to capitalize on the franchise or the markets that are already popular, that seems to be how they've kind of chosen some of their decisions about what they've made, right?
Also, like with the story, because I don't know if you remember, there was this whole controversy of, so there's this kid who gets adopted, like he's I think he's in foster care or something like that. And he just wants a family. And the only family that he's able to find is the family that he creates in the future with himself. So it's just like this, like, so if you're trying to tell a story about acceptance and like found family, the message gets lost in translation because he fell in love with his own family. He was accepted by his own family, not knowing that they were his own family. It was just like this weird, like, I don't know. I like what they were going for, but it didn't really land. And I do think that it works better as an animated film.
I don't even remember it enough to even know any of the stuff that you just shared about the film. I mean, I'm pretty sure that I watched it, but I don't remember like any of the details. Same with the next film on the list, which is Bolt. I think I saw it,
I
Bolt,
think
but I
Bolt
don't
would
remember.
be really cool as a live action film, I think. 'Cause it's about this dog who is he's like a movie star dog, but the dog doesn't know that he's a movie star.
Mm.
The dog thinks he's a superhero because he
Oh,
plays a superhero dog in all these movies. And so his I can't remember, there was something of like they decided to like end the series or end the movies or whatever, and contractual something blah blah blah. The little boy gets separated from his dog, from Bolt. And so Bolt goes on this cross country journey to find his human. And he is trying to convince all of these other animals that, like, no, I'm a superpower. I have a super bark. And the whole concept of like failing forward, where like we see this with Inspector Gadget all the time. Inspector Gadget saves the day.
Only
Not
because of
because-
Penny and
Yeah,
Brave.
not because he's clever, but because sometimes he accidentally falls into it too, right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of Bolt, where like he keeps saving the day accidentally, and he thinks it's because of his superpowers that allow him to save the day. But all the rest of the cast of characters are like, you don't got superpowers.
Mhm.
You're a dog. I think you could do some really fun stuff with that.
Cool. The Princess and the Frog, that hasn't been remade yet,
It needs to be.
It should be. I was not that I wasn't thrilled about the animated version, but I think I would actually prefer a live action remake of this one.
Same.
Yeah, dope.
Tangled, it sounds like there maybe plans
I
of
mean,
it. Would you?
do it? They're going to do it. I would prefer just to leave it alone. That one.
Yeah,
least.
I agree. Brave. Wait, have they done it? No, they
No,
haven't.
I don't think they've done that.
But I could see them doing it. I think I would watch a live action remake of Brave.
That will work. That would work.
Yeah.
Frankenweenie.
There is a live action.
Is it? Or is that live action?
Um,
Because some of these ones are like live actions, and I'm like trying to skip over the live action ones. Would you watch a live action Wreck-It Ralph?
I don't know that. No,
that wouldn't make sense.
no, because that's the point. Because he's an
Video
old
game character.
video game character, isn't
Yeah.
it? So, I don't know.
Yeah, but they've made like live action movies of video game things.
I think that would be pushing the bounds, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that might be a bit too much.
Video game characters who are inside of video games, who, like you can't do a live action Pac-Man because Pac-Man is just a
Right.
big yellow dot with a mouth.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Mm.
Frozen. I think I would.
Frozen.
I don't know if either of you have watched this TV series, Once Upon a Time, which was a Disney. It was on ABC, so it was a Disney production, and they brought in like live action characters of all of these Disney characters. So they didn't have the Disney. They did have the Frozen characters in that series, and I enjoyed it. So I think I would watch a live action version of it as well.
So
I've also watched the Broadway musical of Frozen, and I enjoyed
If we
that.
did live action Frozen, I would need for them to tie in Tarzan into that, because do you know about this? The connection between those two?
No.
So in Frozen, Anna and Elsa's parents go sailing off somewhere, and then they supposedly die at sea, right? But there's a speculation that they actually got
Tarzan is
stranded,
their baby.
and
Oh man, that would be awesome.
yeah. I would like to see that crossover.
I could see that. All right, Big Hero 6.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. It's so perfect the way that it is.
Mm.
You know, it's like
Yeah, I don't.
The Incredibles versus Fantastic Four. We'll see what the new Fantastic Four movie turns out to be, but The Incredibles so far has been the superior version of Fantastic Four. And Big Hero 6, I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those I don't know. It could be awesome, but
Are you familiar with this film, Strange Magic? I had to click on it
No.
to see what it even was. It was animated by Lucasfilm Animation, apparently. But I'm not familiar with it. I haven't seen it, so let's skip over it. The Good Dinosaur, Zootopia.
You know this.
Zootopia?
No, absolutely not.
Agree. Moana, they are making it at the moment. And are you planning on seeing it? In live action? Yeah, that's one that I'm looking forward to seeing, that one.
I don't think it's going to be better than the animated film, but I'll definitely check it out.
Raya and the Last Dragon.
I wanted to love that movie so much.
Same. And it didn't live up to what I was hoping it would be.
Nope. Oh man, all the trailers looked so cool. It looked so promising. I thought it was going to be a really fun action movie, and it wasn't. It was, hey, we need to go to this place and get this thing, and now that we have that, we need to go to this place and get that thing.
I will say that I do want to rewatch it, because the way that I watched it, it was like there was a lot of buffering, so I didn't really get to watch it properly the way it should have been. So I do want to rewatch it, but I still don't think it's going to be like what I wanted it to be. So
I saw it in theaters, and nope.
Are you familiar with Ron's Gone Wrong?
I am. Only to the point that I know the title.
All right, let's skip over that one then. I had to click on that one too to see what is it. Encanto. Would you watch a live action remake of Encanto? I think I would. They'd have to wait a while before making it, but I mean, given when Moana was made and they're remaking that one already.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I need to interject. I just got a Facebook message invitation from theonering.net to join their Facebook message group.
Go for it.
What? What is this?
Can you ignore it for now?
This seems like spam.
Strange World. Did you guys see that one? I actually liked that one.
No.
I thought I had potential. I didn't think it was great.
It was not like in a like excellent film, but I did enjoy it. I don't think I would watch a live action remake of it.
It was like Journey to the Center of the Earth, basically, right?
Yeah, I guess kind of. I mean, I haven't seen that either, but probably, yeah, along those lines. And the last one, which just came out. Wish.
I haven't seen it.
I have, and it was not what I wanted it to be.
That's what I've heard.
So
I still want to see it, but I've heard that it's very disappointing.
It was, yeah. Because like the trailer, I thought made it look like it was going to be better than it was. So I wouldn't be interested in watching a live action remake of it either, because
here's a question for you guys. Why has there not been a Mickey Mouse movie ever?
Hasn't there been one?
There's been Mickey's Christmas Carol, but there have been direct to video Mickey Mouse vignettes, but there has never been a full length feature Disney produced Mickey Mouse movie.
Where he is the main character. Because he's definitely been in feature-length films like Roger Rabbit and a Goofy movie, but he was only cameo appearances in those.
Mickey Mouse, for better or for worse, is a TV star. He's not a movie star. So why do you think there has never been... Is it one of those things that, like a Mandela effect, where everyone just kind of thinks that, like, oh yeah, Mickey Mouse has had tons of movies, we don't need another Mickey Mouse movie?
I don't know that I've ever thought about him being in a movie or anything like that, but I guess it's just he definitely is more of a TV show character.
Well, I don't know.
I guess because what story would you tell? Has he got a story arc in?
What story would you tell with Goofy? Oh, a Goofy movie.
Yeah, but
anything you want.
A Goofy movie came about with, because a Goof Troop, the TV series, happened first, right? Before a Goofy movie.
That's fair. I'll give you that. Sure.
So they already had Max and PJ, those characters, right? They were the main characters from Goof Troop.
But you could do... Mickey Mouse is a character that can do anything. He's an adventurer. I think that's the core of who Mickey is. He goes on adventures.
I don't know. It's strange because at some point he's just pretty much the figurehead of the company, because obviously the nickname for them is the House of Mouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think in some ways, because we got Steamboat Willie was the main originator of this, maybe he's more of a figurehead rather than a character per se.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I still want a Mickey Mouse movie, or a series of Mickey Mouse movies.
I'd watch that.
I want a big grand epic, do Indiana Jones, but as Mickey Mouse.
I could see that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Something like that. Even have it be multi-genre. It starts off as Indiana Jones, but then we end up becoming James Bond, or then he's then he becomes the damsel in distress and Minnie has to save him. There's so many different places that because you could do so many things with Mickey. You could even do Mickey's Haunted Mansion. My goodness, there's your Haunted Mansion movie.
Yeah, there you go.
It has to be animated.
Yeah, I could see that. We have a few more chat comments from my dad, but I kind of want to bring up my next. I have one more question that I don't think will take very long to answer. I kind of want to bring that up.
Let's do it.
So we kind of touched on this when you guys were talking to me earlier about my topic, but which soundtracks resonate the most with you?
In terms of Disney.
You said this was going to be a short question.
Well, it depends on how you want to answer.
Disney classic animation.
Yes, Disney classic animation musicals.
I mean, I feel like nary a week goes by that I don't start humming bum ba ba bum ba ba bum bum ba da bum ba ba bum ba ba bum bum ba. Make way for Prince Ali.
Yeah, I mean, not just that. I mean, even I'll Make a Man Out of You, right? That's a timeless one.
And Reflection
Right,
is the
yeah.
other top one from Mulan for me.
Or even Little Mermaid, right? Like, Under the Sea, Under the Sea. I mean, there's so many.
My go-to karaoke songs for Disney are Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid and A Whole New World with a world in the title. Just realized that for the very first time. Part of Your World from Aladdin. That's like the best duet song of all of the duets of all animation Disney.
There's a really great piece of music from Bambi that goes drip, drip, drop, little April showers.
Yeah.
It's so corny and cheesy, but I love it. Mary Poppins really has
Oh yeah.
great,
some bangers, yeah.
Great.
I mean, even if you're going by iconic stuff, Snow White, like Yo Ho. I mean, there's nothing more classic than that, right?
Hold on, now I have to go to my Disney playlist because I love.
I almost like it. Sorry, this is a closet door here, but I have all of my CDs in my closet in there, and I almost, in preparation for this, pulled out all of my Disney soundtracks from there. But I probably would have it would have been a while for me to go through all of them because I have so many on CD.
All right, I'm gonna try and I'm not gonna say every single song that's in my Disney playlist because there's a lot, but I'm just gonna ramble off a whole bunch that are just Whistle While You Work, Hi Ho, When You Wish Upon a Star, I've Got No Strings, Little April Showers, Zippity Doo Dah, Bippity Boppity Boo. I'm late for a very important date. You can fly, you can fly, you can fly.
I always use that one as the promo song for this because of the Peter Pan connection.
Yep. I'm gonna get some flack over this, but the Siamese Cat song from Lady and the Tramp. I get that it's racist. I get it, but I really like that song.
But it's a bop, yeah.
It's catchy, that's why.
It's very catchy. The Bare Necessities, Ooda Lolly from Robin Hood, Pink Elephants on Parade, Heffalumps and Woozles, everything from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, The Merry-Go-Round Broke Down, Part of Your World, Under the Sea, Kiss the Girl, Poor Unfortunate Souls, Beauty and the Beast, Be Our Guest, Put Our Magic to the Test. The Arabian Nights, Just Like Arabian Moons, Whole New World, Friend Like Me. Friend Like Me, so good. Prince Ali, Circle of Life. I mean, come on. I just can't wait to be king. Be Prepared was one of the first songs I ever learned how to play on the trombone. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful
Oh, God. The Lion King has a great soundtrack.
But Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Colors of the Wind, Just Around the River Bend.
So you still have Pocahontas songs on there, even though you were not a fan of Pocahontas or the soundtrack?
Yeah.
Okay.
As a whole, I didn't care for it.
But those songs are classic.
Topsy Turvy from Hunchback of Notre Dame. Not a great movie. Don't like the soundtrack, but I like that song. Go the Distance, of course. Go the Distance.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I'll Make a Man Out of You. A Girl Worth Fighting For. Crashing the Camp from Tarzan. I mean, come on. Strangers Like Me. Strangers. Love that song. Let's see. Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride. Lilo and Stitch. Look Through My Eyes. Phil Collins from Brother Bear. Are you kidding me? There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. Meet the Robinsons. My goodness, there's just everything from Frozen. I didn't love the movie. Frozen. Every song from Frozen is a banger.
Yeah,
amazing. I also really, really love the soundtrack from Moana. Like all of those songs And
Yep.
Encanto as well. All of the songs in Encanto.
Encanto, Coco, Remember Me,
You remember me?
Frozen 2, Into the Unknown. Are you kidding me? The Family Madrigal. We don't talk about Bruno. No. Nobody Like You from Turning Red. You Got a Friend in Me. Woody's Roundup. Come on.
Wow.
The Monsters Inc. Score. Thomas Newman, who did the entire score to Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. Oh, so good.
Oh, if we're talking scores, I meant to bring this up earlier when we were talking about the live action Disney movies, but I absolutely adore the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack. I have that as well on CD. I did Burlesque as a pirate character that I created because I wrote a novel about it. And I did Burlesque as this character, and I used one of the tracks from the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack as my song that I choreographed my Burlesque to.
Videos or
I don't have any video of it. Hang on, let me look up the names of all of the tracks of.
Please don't demonetize this channel because we are singing Pirates of the Caribbean.
There you go.
It was this note. That's not the songs. I want the tracks. Not the ones that are songs. Give me the score. Score. There we go. Was it?
Swords Crossed.
Barbossa is Hungry?
Dun.
Okay, hang on. Let me go grab the CD because this is not good.
Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, that's the most famous one, isn't it?
Yeah, that one's good. I mean, the whole album is so good. My wife has never seen Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, I think she's got some homework to do.
She does.
Yeah.
Wait, what was that?
Kim has never seen Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, you gotta show that to it. Yeah, I think it was Barbossa is Hungry. It was the track that I used.
Yeah, I remember watching that movie for the first time and just being so captivated by the story. Like, you felt like you were in that world. You felt like that world was real, and the magic of the curse was real.
The animation of them going from skeletons to actors was like, that blew me away because I don't think I'd seen anything quite like that in film before. Yeah.
We talk about ghost stories, Miss Spock. You're in one.
What about you, Sharad? Do you have like particular soundtracks that resonate with you the most, or did you already answer? You said the Little Mermaid, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, like those are more in terms of my childhood stuff. But yeah, I think Hercules is a big one. But yeah, mostly that, because I think that most of the songs have really good messages to it. So mostly, probably Hercules, I'd say.
I'm also going to throw out the soundtrack, I guess you could say, for the Haunted Mansion ride. Not so much the movie, but like the version that's narrated by Paul Frees, I think goes on for 13 minutes. And it takes you through the entire ride. I think the ride lasts longer than 13 minutes, but it's my goodness. There's so much good music. Dun 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 dun, and just the way that
Yeah.
they, oh,
Yeah.
so good. Creepy creeps with eerie eyes.
All right. How do you feel? Are you guys up for me going through my dad's comments?
How many
quickly?
are there?
Yeah,
There's a
but
decent
I'll,
amount,
I'll,
but
I'll
we
have
can
to
go
I'll
through
have to dawdle soon to go to the office. So
We'll just go through them quickly. We do not have to comment on them if you don't want, but we'll go through them just so that they're not like left there. So he said that Dumbo affected him because of childhood bullying that he received, not knowing that he was autistic.
Interesting.
Bullies tend to pick people who aren't different. Yep.
Unfortunately.
wow, we tend to fear what we do not understand.
Yeah, this is one of the things that like really captures me about animation in particular is when the story really resonates with me from a personal level. I'm finding this a lot about a lot of the anime that I'm watching right now as well, just how much like I'm emotionally affected by the storytelling. So my dad said that my wife's biggest complaint of me is my Peter Pan mentality. In some ways, I never grew up. Hence the title of this episode, Peter Pan Millennials.
In some ways, Frank, you never should. You never should.
Yeah, I think that this is I feel like a lot of autistic people have people interpreting us as having that Peter Pan mentality because we still are young at heart. Okay. Doesn't mean that we can't also be adults, though. So he says the Hunchback with Peter Lawton or the earlier Lon Chaney version is still the best live actions for me. I don't think I've seen.
I haven't seen the Peter Lawton version, but I have seen the Lon Chaney version. First time I saw it, my uncle brought it over. I can't remember why he came over, but whatever. He came over and it was on 2 VHS tapes.
Nice.
And it's a black and white silent film. And I was like, oh no. We're gonna sit down and watch a black and white
Game
movie
over, man. Game over.
1920s with no sound, and it blew me away. I was riveted as
wow.
like a 10-year-old kid or a 9-year-old kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think the only the oldest black and white film that I've seen from probably maybe around that era was Nosferatu. That was a silent film, right?
Yeah. That was a silent film.
I think that's the only apart from I've seen some Buster Keaton stuff and some Charlie Chaplin stuff.
A number of years ago, I got obsessed with the original 1932 version of 1931. I can't remember version of the Phantom of the Opera, and so I downloaded a copy of it and then re-edited it so that I could put a modern day film score to it.
Oh wow!
If you guys are interested, I'll send you guys the link.
Yeah, go for
it. But it's not, the music that I chose isn't from any one film. I tried to find music from other horror movies.
Oh, interesting.
It would like match the scene.
Nice.
It kind of like help to tell the story from moment to moment. And there's a few moments in there that I am very, very pleased with.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dad's next comment says, mentioning Pinocchio takes me back to John Peterson and all the archetypal lessons in it.
Sure.
Okay.
Not familiar with Peterson.
Growing up with only one black and white TV, I had to watch Lawrence Welk and Bonanza under protest. Those were the ones that he was forced to watch.
Lawrence Welk.
I think that I was lucky that I was actually into everything that my dad showed me. Like you can see it reflected in like the titles that he mentioned that I also brought up as things that were clearly favorites of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom hated Lawrence Welk so much because she too was forced to watch it as a kid.
Yep.
So my dad says there are live action versions of Alice in
Yep.
Wonderland with Johnny Depp. I think those are the ones that we were talking about, right?
Yeah, not
That
great.
was suggested by ChatGPT.
It's
Yeah,
terrible.
they're not great. I did watch both of them, but yeah, they're. Let's have a live action remake of Disney's animated version with Aunt Lydia. whoever I don't know the actor's name, but Aunt Lydia from Handmaid's Tale as the queen.
I think that's perfect casting. I think that's great.
She's so good.
So this is an interesting comment from your dad.
The new technology is bringing back dead actors.
So are you guys familiar with this? There is.
Yeah. Well, we've already seen. No, I was thinking of when they made Mark Hamill made him younger in something that Star Wars.
Yeah, but they did Princess Leia in something else, Rogue One.
And they brought back Moff Tarkin. Like they actually brought the actor back as yeah, exactly. Right. He's been gone for a long time.
But even more specifically, I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but some film studio, some company is trying to bring back what's his name from Rebel Without a Cause.
Oh yeah, James Dean.
James Dean. Yeah, they're trying to do a brand new film starring James Dean and using AI to.
That feels wrong to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially for someone like James Dean, where like he's such an iconic name, even though he made 3 films or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you know what that means? Like if that gets the green light, what to stop someone from redoing Elvis or anything else, and then
I'm of two minds about it, if I'm truly being honest, which I know people are going to tear me apart for, but I think it really is truly a magnificent achievement that we're here. We're at the place that like we can reproduce someone's likeness digitally and you can't really tell the difference. I think that's insane.
Which leads to deepfakes.
Which leads to deepfakes. I mean, there's the evils of technology, but then there's also the benefits of technology. And I think that, everyone's on this like anti-AI train right now. But if you're using AI the way that you or I are, you or I am, whatever.
I think as long as there are guardrails and like if you're like you can license your likeness so you still get paid for it being used.
Right. Yeah.
Or if you're bringing back someone from the dead, then
it goes towards their estate.
It should go to
their
family. Yeah.
So I think there's as long as everyone's on board with what's happening and you get all the permissions, and I think there's some really cool stuff like what you said, bring back an Elvis movie kind of thing with, also I have mixed feelings about Elvis, but whatever. I don't know.
All right. Yeah, it's still a gray area for some of that stuff, and we'll see what happens. The times they are a changing, as they say.
Yeah.
All right, next comment from my dad. He says, Nat King Cole singing with his daughter. Is that? Oh, that's what he wants to see.
Yeah, bringing back. Yeah.
Okay.
Stuff like that, I think, could be really. It could be really cool.
Yeah.
Not Disney, but influential was the Yellow Submarine movie.
I never saw it.
I don't think I saw it either.
Animated film, but I didn't. Because I think isn't that the movie that chronicles the story of the Nowhere Man, I believe?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
He's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere van.
No.
You guys know that song,
I
right?
don't know.
No, sorry.
By the Beatles?
I only know the Yellow Submarine song. We are.
Yeah,
And I didn't. When I first I knew that song without knowing that it was the Beatles, because it was like one of the classic songs that we that and The Octopus's Garden were like the two classic songs that were always drilled into my mind from the things that we had to sing in primary school from like a singing book.
For me, it was Yellow Submarine and the wheels on the bus go round and round. So,
Okay.
Mhm.
The wheels on the yellow submarine go flip, flip, flip.
My dad also says, not mentioned, but Disney's semi-historicals like Davy Crockett,
Yeah.
Swamp Fox, Zorro, Daniel Boone, Johnny Appleseed, Paul Bunyan, and Scarecrow.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say the other classic one that I remember watching a bunch as when I was a kid was Swiss Family Robinson.
Yeah, that almost made my top 10 live action. I thought about that.
I thought about it too. But it's been so long since I've seen it, and that was the main reason I didn't include it, because I'm like, I feel like I should watch that one again.
I feel like Paul Bunyan would make for a really cool animated musical.
I haven't seen it.
Zorro. I mean, all of these, I think you could do. What if you did like the Avengers, but with like early American, like if Davy Crockett and Swamp Fox and Zorro and Daniel Boone and Johnny Appleseed and Paul Bunyan. What if you have like all of these characters together in like one team up movie?
That'd be dope.
So like Johnny Appleseed and Paul Bunyan are opposites of the same coin, right? Paul Bunyan chops down trees, but Johnny Appleseed plants trees. So like, who's the villain? That could be interesting.
All right, one last comment, then we're done. So my dad says, Nicholson mouse stores are in comic books. Nicholson could be Indiana Jones. I get that. Is that a reference that I don't know, or did he type it wrong and he means Mickey Mouse?
Maybe it means Mickey Mouse. Maybe it means Mickey Mouse. Yeah, Mickey Mouse stores in comic books.
Yeah, I think it's just a typo.
Yeah, I think it's just Mickey Mouse.
Maybe he's swiping on his phone, and so it got swiped as Mickelson instead of Mickey.
I mean, I would love that, like a Mickey Indiana Jones type thing.
I could definitely see that, because it's somewhat similar to the DuckTales movie.
Yeah,
the Treasure of the Lost Lamp. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's the one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I could see a Mickey version of something along those lines for sure.
And I know we're going to do a Muppets thing later on, but it needs to be reiterated. How the F have we not had a Muppets Avengers movie? The Muppet Avengers.
Oh, they'll have to make it at some point for sure.
For sure.
Come on. Sam Eagle as Captain America?
Yes.
Come on.
I can see it.
Kermit is Iron Man. Oh, man. Like it writes itself. Piggy's Black Widow.
Gonzo.
Hulk.
Who would Gonzo be? Ant-Man.
Yeah,
probably.
Because Ant-Man's like the comic relief, right? And that's what Gonzo is.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. I don't know. There's too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
Well, we did it. We talked Disney movies, and we took an extra 2 hours and 20 minutes longer than we thought we were going to. like. I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Clearly, you must have if you stayed on. So,
large and apart
yeah.
ibuprofen. Thanks, ibuprofen.
Thank
I
you.
love this. I
can
look forward to
feel it
doing
starting to like come down though.
good timing for all of this then. Yeah. I look forward to doing more of these chatting about media topics in the future.
Yeah.
It sounds like Muppets might be the next topic that we have.
Yeah.
We
Let me
are
know.
planning on doing a modern horror films from 2020 onwards.
I just
Sometime
saw
later this
Bloodline.
year. Oh yeah.
Sure.
Maybe we'll save it for October so we can do it like as a Halloween
good idea.
month.
Good idea. Okay.
So in October we'll do modern horror films from 2020 onwards, and then we'll see what else happens in the meantime. But next week we'll probably be back to Real Talk with the Vulnerable Angel and Friends, and yeah, hope you enjoyed. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Find me on all the other social medias and all of that sort of thing. Until next time, bye.
Bye.